Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this Iron House. I do apologize. I should just put this off another day. I took a whole half of a day off yesterday and spent it working my ass off. Didn't sleep well last night. Got to today. Collapsed into exhaustion for an hour and a half nap, which for those of you who don't know me, is unusually long. So, I apologize for the shortened shifts. That's my fault and nothing else. Now, Lord Harrowmont asked for a summary of what's been happening so far in War Within. I'm not going to do that. But the reason why is because there's a quest right here called the War Within Recap. And I'm going to do that on camera. So here's what we're doing. Let me go and give you the master plan here. We're going to go and do the side stuff first. The stuff that's not immediately connected to the MSQ. Okay? Siren's Isle is a good example of this. We're probably also going to go and do both Arathi quest chains while we're here. Then, once we've kind of cleaned that up, we'll go ahead and hit that particular quest arc, see where that leads us. Oh, no, that's a lie. No, we also want to do Lorewalker Cho's quests. Forgive me, I forgot about that. So we're going to do Siren's Isle, then we're going to do Lorewalker Cho, then we're going to do the Arathi stuff. Once we're done with those things, that's when we're going to go ahead and hit the MSQ. And we're going to go ahead and tap that quest, see where it puts us. And once it has done so, we'll go ahead and do the next major quest, which will be the Undermine and then Koresh. Yes, I know, Papa Neeks. I have not seen it yet, but I know it exists. Okay, so, before we go any further, there's a Sawal.
Yeah.
See if it's voice acted, because I feel like these weren't last time.
Hey, what's the good news?
The siren crystal. It was making a racket this morning. Like a pot banging in my head. Still, it gave me some ideas.
Yeah, you've got a headache. But, what you making? We found you a whole kit and caboodle of crystals.
I'm boosting their energy. You can make some powerful artifacts with these babies.
You know what you should do? Make some explosives. Big bada booms. Did you know what was here before us, Didi? An Azurite mine. Some Kirin outfit.
Hey, I ain't looking to blow stuff up. I want a power source. A bunch of batteries.
Okay, I get you. After all, what you got cooking could be really valuable.
I ain't in it for the money. I'm in it for the power.
Soon you'll have more power than you know what to do with.
Ha, believe you me, I know what to do with it.
That's our Didi. No off position on the genius switch.
And remember, every time a race gets a turn in being in the limelight, they get fleshed out a bit. So we're going to see goblins who aren't horrifically evil and stupid. I know. It's shocking. What I love most is one of the biggest complaints I was hearing by idiots is that the goblins are boring and vanillaed out now. And those people are very stupid. No, what they did with the goblins is they gave them depth. They turned them from a one-note race into a three-note race. I'll take that. Anyways, looks like that's the only Sawal, right? Okay.
Show me what you found.
She takes your hand in hers and examines the crystal-embedded circlet closely. Can you feel the energy humming through it, Horde Runner? The circlet feels awake. Perhaps more secrets lie around the isle. Go uncover secrets. Oh God, okay. Let's go do stuff. It's okay. There's some other stuff here. Oh. Game on table look fun, but Skagit no want Jack play. Maybe you can? Sneak in, put a bet down. We'll see who wins. Okay. I'll contribute to the drain. Aw, I'm out of iron. Jack knew you could pick winner. You do that again. Contribute 10 times, but I just did. Okay. I just contributed. Oh, whatever. Sigh. Yeah, they actually turned Hobgoblins into something, too. Barely. Is it Warbound? Might have some. I do. I got plenty. Transfer. Grab my 700 I got lying around here. There we go. I have contributed.
Get your feet moving. We got a tunnel to blast open. This kaboom ought to be good.
Alright, let's go do the drain then.
Say, what do you think washed down that drain? Maybe it's treasure, or maybe it's monsters, and maybe those monsters have treasure.
Ooh. Yeah, I wouldn't list goblins even in my top 10 favorite races in Warcraft. That doesn't change... Well, that doesn't change the fact that Undermine is the best zone in the game. And I agree, it's probably the best zone in any MMO. Just top to bottom. Ooh, Mounsters. Hi, Morganite. Did I say hi, Morganite? Hi, Morganite. So, my biggest issue with Koresh was the lack of polish. Undermine was polished. Koresh wasn't. There were spelling errors, there were bugs, there were inconsistencies in the animation. There were weird, like, money-saving effects going on here and there. And, of course, the worst part for me, I'm sure this didn't affect most of you, is the quests suddenly became bad from a co-op perspective. What I mean by that... Pause. Congrats on the job, Zachdeft. Unpause. The... How do I put this in words? From vanilla up to about Warlords, this is actually something I've talked about a few times. There was this phenomenon where how quests were designed with regards to group play slowly got better over time. And that was awesome. That it was getting better and becoming more and more co-op friendly. I don't mean just sharing credit. I mean just quests designed with grouping in mind. Make sense? And a lot of credit would share when it should, and a lot of credit didn't share when it shouldn't. And the whole thing was very well designed. And again, that kind of peaked around Warlords. BFA dipped again. It's actually one of several reasons why I had a negative opinion about BFA. Was because grouping kind of sucked in BFA. And then Shadowlands had issues as well, and then Dragonflight went right back to being amazing. And so did War Within. You have to understand, we went immediately from Undermined to the Arathi quests to Koresh. And that experience was bizarre, because the Undermine and the Arathi quests were perfectly designed with co-op in mind. And then Koresh was not. To be very clear about this, there are quests that were just straight-up kill quests in Koresh. You know, the most common form of co-op sharing quests that didn't. Now, the reason why, for those of you not aware, and I've talked about this before, is in WoW, quests are individually and manually designed. What that means is a quest only shares if someone has manually designed that quest to share. They didn't. Yeah, you're getting it, Xavier. Someone had to go back and polish up those things and make sure that those shared appropriately for a group. And nobody did that for Crash. And it was really, really obvious nobody did that for Crash. Because it wasn't even consistent. Sometimes it would share just fine, sometimes it wouldn't, sometimes it would share when it shouldn't. Like looting items occasionally would share. And then sometimes it wouldn't share at all when it should, like the aforementioned kill quest. It was very rough, and that made for a very frustrating experience. Again, it was just like old WoW all over again. If I was cynical, I'd say it was on purpose, but no, it's a QA thing. Because again, there were several other issues and bugs and problems. Other than that. It was just polish. That's all it was. Lack of polish. So, we ran into exactly one bug between all of us and the Undermine. It was a very inconsistent bug, but it was a very frustrating one. Something I'll show off later. I don't want to talk too much about Undermine yet, but something I'll show off later. is there's a quest where you have to drive over to a package, pick it up, and then drive it to a destination. Picking up the package wouldn't count. So, you know, that sucked. Good afternoon, Evo. We were definitely not talking about Undermine. Let's see. So Elizar says... is there a good Nerubian not with the Undead Scourge? Yeah. Like, hundreds of them, I want to say? We meet so many good Nerubians. I would go so far as to say that in terms of Nerubian characters, we've met more good Nerubians than bad at this point. At least named characters, to be more clear about that.
We will not tolerate a threat to our airship on this island, no matter where it may hide. Allies of the Arathi, prepare for battle.
No, Elizar, a group does not...
Troops will strike at this draconic horror within its lair. A barrage of cannon fire will reveal its presence. Prepare yourselves.
A group does not need to join the Horde or Alliance to be decent people. That's actually horrific. That's awful. My God, that's so horrifying to think about that. Oh right, yeah, it is. By the way, I'm not even going to review this whole circlet mechanic. It was clearly a test bed. Oh my God, Evo. Oh my God. Because it was intended as like a...
Lively. I want that cave entrance cleared. Run out the guns. Commence bombardment.
Where's the ship that's doing the bombarding? Oh, there it is. Yeah, Elizar. There's no... You really gotta understand, there's no Horde and Alliance anymore. Not in any way that matters. Not in any way that counts. There hasn't been since... BFA. BFA was a long time ago, as a reminder. Wait, what? Oh, shoot. I didn't realize we were already fighting something. No! Yeah, the Horde Alliance still exists. Arguably shouldn't. Let's not get into that. But there's been no faction divide of any note or worth since BFA. Oh, over here. I guess I'll kill things, I suppose. I actually saw it. That's the, oh, what's the name of that raid? Ah. Aberrus, right?
An exemplary display. The cave is open. Troops, deploy!
I'm starting right out. There it is. No, that's not Aberrus. Oh, maybe that's Aberrus. It's hard to tell. Or is that the tier 2 set? In which case, never mind.
Reliable as always. appreciate stalwart allies. Our forces on high remain vigilant.
And even that's mostly cosmetic, if that's what I'm thinking of as Mirror Star. Is blue? Sure. Yeah, Aberyst's sets were just bangers for some reason. In Midnight? Oh, okay. Well, then I don't know what that one is. I've seen these boss fights when they're live. As usual, I'm not reviewing most of this because most of this is a treadmill treadmill zone. We don't really review treadmill zones.
I'm on it. Time's
I'm good.
wasted.
Anyways, thoughts on the boss fights. They're basic world bosses. Nothing wrong with them. This is a decent treadmill zone. It's just someone in the party, I'm not going to name names, got sick of it immediately. And I do mean immediately. And we just noped out pretty much the moment we realized there was no real story to speak about here. Don't mistake me, there's some good world building. There is. Which we've already seen most of in the very first quest. There it is. Okay. Yeah, there was some catch-up gear mechanism in here, which is fine, and I approve of there being catch-up mechanisms not in just the endgame zone. But part of the problem was we didn't hit this until Undermine was already out. So this place was invalidated the moment we walked into it, gameplay-wise.
Treasures from far and wide.
Curious. Even as fragments, the pieces hum with energy. Wonder if I... She presses the fragments together like a puzzle, squeezing them in her palm. After a moment, she opens her hand and reveals a nearly neatly fused shard. It may be less intricately carved or ornate as the citrine you found in the vault. There's power here, even a small stone like this.
Trent.
Wanna... I mean, I'm the weirdo who used that belt we got in the next patch for a long, long time. In fact, I think my main still has it on. I think BC was better than Shadowlands? No.
Something new to trade?
Stay well and listen. No? Oh, here we go. Watch the review, Eleazar. I spent hours proving that point. There we go. So I told you there were some with no voice acting. You seem fascinated with those crystals. I was watching your process earlier. What is it about them that inspires you? This morning I heard the siren crystal sing to me, ringing with an intricate melody. Perhaps it was calling to the spark of the world soul within you. We've been searching the island to learn more. Your thoughts align with mine. If we found more of those smaller crystals, I can make enduring wonderworks. It's a shame the Kultirans didn't hear the same song. We found the remains of their mining camp. Their culture didn't endure here. Really? I haven't left the workshop. What have you found? Journals, letters, schematics? More mysteries. Their culture vanished almost overnight. It's one of the crystal's biggest enigmas. I heard they were mining azurite. I'm glad we have more reasonable goals. Now I have inspiration for more intricate creations. Lattices, orreries, matrices. Spoken like a true earthen, a creator should follow her heart. We'll find more of those smaller crystals for you. Yeah, as I say, I was just debating if it was worth even rehashing the same point for the trillionth time. The only reason I even brought it up is because Eleazar specifically asked, which was worse. I will say this, from the perspective of now, it's pretty obvious that Shadowlands is less bad, because Shadowlands contains a lot of modern design that makes it more palatable. Now, BC does too, but a lot of the core meat of BC is still 2005. That being said, Shadowlands has the Jailer. So, you know, that's bad. Shadowlands also had something else, which I'm looking for right now, and I'm trying to find the dang thing. Is this it? Here it is. I found it. I made a spreadsheet. Hey, Ross. I made a spreadsheet, sorry about earlier, of each of the zones, if you remember, and how well they performed. Speaking of which, I need to add Tazavesh to this. Or not Tazavesh. Koresh? Koresh, I think? Hang on. Yes, Koresh. I'm right. There we go. And here we go, Shadowlands. So the thing about Shadowlands, and I find this funny, is I was expecting something a little bit different from several of the campaigns. And holy crap, the Maldraxxus campaign kind of sucked, and Maldraxxus itself kind of sucked. It was actually the worst of the 4 central zones, if you remember. And we talked about why. We talked about the specifics as we were going through Shadowlands. But I mentioned this because the other zones were actually pretty solid. Bastion was good. Revendreth was good. Ardenweald was great. And the Bastion campaign and the Revendreth campaign were both good. So... But yeah, Maldraxxus just... Ugh. The zone and the campaign both just lagged pretty hard. By the way, I should look this up. 80, I think? Let me double check my notes here. I'm almost positive 80 is a peak. Yep, I'm right. Yeah, honestly, it is not ironic. Not ironic? It's not a joke to say that the Jailer is such a poisonous and toxic element to Shadowlands that he taints everything else inside of it. I talked about that extensively while we were going through Shadowlands. Entire story beats are actually fine if you magically remove him from the equation. And such an effort was made to ruin Warcraft, not World of Warcraft, Warcraft, retroactively with the Jailer. That's just, it's a whole different variable, right? Like it's just this, it's something that's hard to even put into review process because he is such a giant pile of poop in the middle of the punch bowl. Yeah, it's so bad. It's just like, huh? I know the office was on fire. I get it. I do. Anyways, so for the curious, yeah, the Jailers, it's a shoo-in for me. But remember, I'm reviewing WoW separately for the LGAs. By the way, as a reminder, for those of you who haven't heard it, this is the last game that qualifies for the LGAs for 2025. If you want any nominations, you want to get any nominations in, this is the last game to nominate. I will be setting up the review, the voting immediately after we finish this stream. And I don't mean today, I mean when we finish Patch Within. So FYI. But I was curious of something. So I keep track of zones, right? On both a story axis and a gameplay axis, and then I spread that out a little bit more. So there's like main quest, side quest, primary quest, visual pluses, audio pluses, etc., etc., etc. The highest scoring zone as of this moment in time is Hallowfall, which probably surprises none of you. It actually surprised me. Immediately behind Hallowfall is Ajkahet. And then I believe the next one after that, let me double check myself. Yep, is the Emerald Dream back in Dragonflight. And then the Waking Shores and the Ringing Deeps, which are actually tied. Then the Azure Span. And then the Jade Forest, which is such a wonderful outlier to that. Ross was actually asking earlier if any of the old stuff was worth doing. The fact that a zone from Pandaria, which is like 15 years ago, is one of the best zones in the game says something. Anyways. Yeah, Jade Forest was just damned good. It was polished to a frickin' shine. It had fantastic pacing, great side quests, great world building, great visuals, great music, great structure, great threading, good quest design. Just, woof. Jade Forest. Was it 13? I don't know, Evo. You have Google? Figure it out. Google it right now. Boom. This is your homework. As punishment for trying to correct me for being 2 years off of a vague, off the top of my head guess. The Tian Monastery is great. I mean, Jade Forest was so damn good. It was also a nice change. Like, obviously, that's from now perspective. Try to picture going straight from Cataclysm to the Jade Forest. Like, actually think about that. That's such a climb of in terms of quality. Especially since, if you'll remember, you're fine, Evo. Evo has this thing, I've discovered this about her, where she's got a really good head for dates. I don't. I have an extremely good memory, but I cannot remember dates, or years, I should say, to save my life. So I either have to have them written down, or I use something to anchor myself. I've talked about this concept before, where I'll be like, okay, this happened in 2005, and that was the year this happened, therefore this was the next year, therefore it's 2006. And that's like how I do my little mental checking of time. And that's kind of how I do that. And to try and track myself in terms of timelines. And you're probably thinking, what do you do for WoW? Kata was 2010. WoW was 2004. Oh no, now I'm second guessing myself. I was playing WoW in 2004. Kata was 2010. Those are my two anchor points for WoW right there. Anyways. See, now I'm second guessing myself again. I blame you, Evo. You did this to me. You broke my memory. Point being, that's the competition. 80. If Undermine truly is the best zone, it has to break 80 positives. And to be clear, I have no horse in this race. That's not how a review works. If I can't justify a positive or a negative, then that negative or positive does not exist.
Conversation initiated.
That looks like a cosmetic-y thing. I'm gonna move on past that.
Work, serve others.
Bargus. Let's try the other quest over here.
Outsiders are a welcome surprise.
Look for more citrines. Are we done with the MSQ out here already? Like, are we really? Hang on, let me double check myself here. I have played EverQuest. I have played EverQuest in the day, and I went back to it twice. No, okay, this is a real quest. Alright, okay. I think? Maybe. There are 3 quests after this, at least. Whatever, let's just do it. That ring of yours has caused quite a stir, hasn't it? And the history behind it. Frightful? Someone named Circe? I know that you and Bargus unlocked more of the ring's potential by scouting the Isle, but perhaps you could turn your attention to the sea. Take your ring into the water and see what happens. Bring whatever you find back to me. I'm a bit of a novice, but I might be able to piece together whatever you find.
If the shadows find you, call.
The shadows have found me! Ah! I always appreciated how several of the Arathi have the Kirin models. Mostly just for variety, but I'm still with it. We whatever. Are you okay there, buddy? Train snapdragons, they said. It'll be easy, they said. Does any part of this look easy to you? Do you have any idea what their bite can do to a guy? Well, why snapdragons? Look, I heard they had got evolved from wolves or something, so they should be easy to train, like dogs, right? Well, they ain't. They sure are food motivated, though.
See ya.
He'll be fine. Yeah, ever since I got the achievement, the final achievement for having a number of mounts, my, shall we say, fervor for getting random mounts I'll never use has gone down substantially. I know this isn't an accurate number, but I'm up to almost 700 now. How much is the one at midnight? Because if it's below 700, I already got it. If it's at 700, I'm about to have it. Whee. Getting a bunch of mounts from Lemix probably helped. I did refuse to buy 2 mounts from Lemix. No points if you can guess which. It's 600. Yeah, I'm good. Bingo, Papanix. The ones from Argus. Yeah, the gross ones. I don't even want those on my bar. Ever. I'm good. God, it's so weird being this slow on a mount. This is like double slow. It's like slowception. Ooh, nice. That'll be cool. I mean, it's no scarab, but I'll take it. Our queen will have her prize. Yes, yes. We are not voice acted. No, no. Yeah, Asharo's gone. Not deleted. She's not cessated. She's literally absent. Yeah, Vosh in Shadowlands was probably the only good thing about the entire Maldraxxus campaign. That's not saying much.
In hardship, kindness. Felidar shine on you. Don't despair. The shadows sense it.
He takes the 3 singing fragments and looks at them dubiously. I can tell there's power here. Hope I confused them safely. Here goes nothing. Or anything. He takes out a vial of a viscous golden liquid and begins piercing them together. The liquid flashes with light and the citrine is whole again. He hands you the repaired citrine. Impressed? Don't be. It was fancy glue, to be honest, but hopefully this ring will further our knowledge of the Isle.
Walk in the light.
Sure. Kevin? You mean... Kevin? Yes, I still have him with me. Yeah, Marilith was legit, too.
My programming is expanded to exploration.
Where's the follow-through quest?
Journey onward, friend.
So Dee Dee gives the quest.
I hear you. Don't work too hard.
1 second. I mean, the slappy hands ability was legit. Okay, so hang on. Pulling this up here. Okay, it looks like we have to finish the world quest for this to pop. Which is amusing, I'm at 92%. If I'm reading this correctly. Impressive. I don't have my glasses on. Ahem. Sorry, Lord. I just sat down, Lord Emma. You ton sparse. Oh my god. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, we don't have to keep going. I'm good. I'm good. We're good. It's a treadmill zone. We never expected this to be much. So let's just move on. So, let's jot over here. Stay nice and organized about all this. Yeah, it was nice filler. And there's nothing wrong with nice filler. Really. It's just, we're good. Let's go. I have pulled an Evo.
Keep it real.
Oh god, I don't know how to get back. No, how do I go back? No! How do I go back, actually? I mean, obviously I can just Earth, but... How am I supposed to get back? Oh.
Come on in.
Never mind, I'm extremely blind. But how did it turn out is the real question, Mr. Red. Okay, so I already said what we're doing next. I actually have to leave group for these. These do not like groups. These might take a minute. These are chonky.
Hello. Eyes open. Always be learning. Farewell.
So. Whoa!
Every good
That's-
story needs a hero.
That's not supposed to look like that.
Jade Serpent guide you.
I don't know what add-on could be doing that. By the way, WoW has also been way buggier in general this year. Once again, I blame Microsoft. Okay, so... let's look at these. So this is a new concept. It's called a World of Warcraft. It's when you try to summarize significant elements of the story in the game so that players who weren't there for the old content can enjoy it. It's this incredible idea that only a madman would have ever sat down and actually put together the entire video series about. Anyways, I am glad that they're doing this. They've been slow rolling this out, honestly. So, yeah, thank you, Blizzard, for this brand new innovation. You'll notice I do not have that item because obviously this one's new. So, well, they're still slow moding it. This is new as of this year, Ross. So this is the story of the Lich King, and they did that as a test bed because the second Lich King is one of the bigger stories of the entire franchise. It's something that, first of all, most people probably should be aware of. It's the World War II, right? Everyone should be aware of World War II. It was relevant in Warcraft 3. It was affected by Warcraft 2. It continued to be relevant until Wrath of the Lich King, and it had effects past Wrath of the Lich King up until Shadowlands. I'm not sure there's a single event that has more of an impact on a moment-to-moment basis than the second Lich King. So, yeah, this is probably our proof of concept, and so they pick something super-duper significant. Then, of course, we have the Ethereals and Xalatath. Both of those were relevant to the Koresh zone. We'll actually save those for now. And then we have the Elves of Quel'Thalas, which is relevant for Midnight. So you notice they're adding things as we go. See, the War of the Ancients certainly had a big impact, but how much of an impact did that have on moment-to-moment stuff? I mean, sure, you could argue that the reason Blood Elves exist is because of the War of the Ancients, and you'd be right. But how much of that do you see in-game during quest? How much of it is referenced? How much of it has direct impact on anything? By contrast, the Dead Scar's right over there. You know what I mean? Anyways. So, we're going to do the Lich King one.
Tread lightly.
I must warn you, friend. This is not a tale for the faint of heart. The Lich King. A figure so horrible that his very legacy defies remembrance. Perhaps we should recall instead the prince who had yet to become king.
Greetings.
So, to be clear, yeah, no kidding. He did a lot of voice acting for this. So here's how lore walking works. It is a brand new concept. It's a new blanket. It's a new coating layer on top of everything else. You will actually be shoved out into the world for some of these quests, but your layering is strange because you're in a lore walking layer. Also, you can't interact with certain things, and you have some issues with people. It's clearly something they're still workshopping as far as a code perspective, but it's awesome because it's a great way to actually go out and see parts of these histories rather than just having someone tell you about them. It's the one way I will say this is superior to anything I ever put out, because you actually play some of this. So what you do is you hit these buttons, and we get cutscenes.
And so begins the tragic tale of Prince Arthas Manethil.
And, yeah, vehicle quests.
There you are, lad. We've been waiting for you.
Hello, Uther.
Well met.
It's a big day, lad. We've got a parade of troops visiting contingent from Ironforge to hear your father, or King Tyrannus, will be here to oversee everything. It's days like today that you've been forged for, Arthas. Inspire your men, prove yourself. Whip these troops into shape. No doubt Myrddin's been itching for a brawl as well.
For Lordaeron.
Of course, Uther. Glad you could bake it, Uther. So, what's really strange about these is they have these optional objectives. I don't mind these. This is, in fact, good design. But I call it strange because the whole point of these is to get the lore, the story, in which it is an optional objective to get story.
The light shines upon us.
Uther, may I have a word? There's been something on my mind.
When has that ever not been the case? Speak up then.
I've trained hard as a Knight of the Silver Hand. Done my best to be a Paladin of the Light, but I'm still also Prince of Lordaeron. And one day, I'll be king. What happens if, at some point, those two duties conflict with each other? Which one wins?
Ha. Well, I know much of knighthood and little of royalty, but I do know what it's like to stand at a crossroads. My advice to you is this. All you can do is look down the paths in front of you and do your best to see what lies ahead. Only then can you decide which path will best serve your people in the end. For that is the duty of both Prince and Paladin.
Look down the path and see what lies ahead? That's your great advice?
I can impart many a lesson, my boy, but experience will always be the better teacher. Now go on. Your future awaits.
Yeah. I've often said that Arthas is Anakin done well, but it's also worth noting that some more recent works have fleshed that out a bit more. By the way, did you know at any point in time you could just pop this, and all of a sudden Lore Walker shows there?
How does today find you?
So, this is actually fantastic. I'm not going to read all of these, because there's a lot of these. But you can ask him questions. Who's Uther? Who are Arthas and Jaina? Who is Myrddin Bronzebeard?
Jade Serpent guide you.
Uther is actually a pretty classic Obi-Wan, yeah.
What are your orders?
I don't know if he was designed that way, but he was totally designed that way. I mean, BFA music is just tragic enough to fit Arthas, so...
What can I do for you? See you around.
And I go beat up my people. This is the true work of a royal right here. Beating up the peasants. Who is Qui-Gon? Probably Lord Ravencrest, actually. If we want to go for a direct parallel.
How are you? See you soon.
Agreed, Ms. Mirstar.
All's quiet, Commander.
For the Alliance.
Meanwhile, Zar's like, who the hell's Lord Ravencrest? Amusingly enough, the closest parallel to Thrall is Luke. I know that's not a perfect fit, but if we think about, like, thematic significance and approach to, like, general personality in the story...
What are your orders?
Be careful.
Yoda?
All's quiet, Commander.
See, I'm trying to think of someone who's wise... Like Yoda was an interesting puzzle piece. Because he was the old when we were in the old, right? He was still old in the prequel trilogy and was directly responsible for a large amount of why the Jedi Order was flawed and didn't know how to adapt or move forward. It wasn't until he got his ass completely handed to him by Palpatine that he learned humility and started adapting. And even then, he never quite got out of that mentality of having lost, for lack of a better way to put that. Hey, Valerian. I'm not sure there's a Warcraft equivalent of that. Taronda, maybe? That doesn't feel right, though. I don't like that. Valerian, if you don't ask me WoW questions... Ebonhorn? I could see Ebonhorn. Yeah, you mentioned Alonzus Fowl. I could kind of see that. Lord knows he was pretty substantial for a fairly large amount. Agreed. Pretty substantial for a large amount of the background story, right? For those who are not aware, Alonzus Fowl is pretty much the reason we have the Paladins at all, the Paladin Order, the Silver Hand. And he saw a lot of death during Warcraft 1, which, you know, caused him some issues. Then he died, got back up, and was like, okay, time to fix this. Also, young Mirrodin. Look at young Mirrodin. I mean, he's not that young. This isn't that long ago. Look at him. Look at him. So, the Warcraft 2 Death Knights are absolutely nothing like the Warcraft 3 and onwards Death Knights. Let's just make that very clear. However, would they be affected by the powers of the first or second Lich King? Yes, absolutely. You have to remember that the level of control that the Helm of Domination and Frostmourne gave its wielder over Undeath is near absolute. This is something I said for years, and people are like, ugh, there's no evidence of it. The game never explicitly says that, and therefore you're wrong, lore. And I just endured assholes constantly telling me I was wrong for years, until finally I was proven completely right, more than once. So, the level of control that the first and second Lich Kings had, also the third, by the way, was near absolute. It was like a computer opponent in an RTS. It was only limited by the stretch and reach of what the actual user could do. Getting back to the specifics of your question, Valerian, the Death Knights of Warcraft 2 were slain human knights who then had the souls of orcish warlocks shoved into them. So that's kind of a weird mishmash of things, but one way or another, that is still undead. It's actually a warlock form of undead, as opposed to a death magic form of undead. But it is still death. It is still undeath. And that still means the second Lich King, or the first Lich King, or the third Lich... Yeah, fell undeath, exactly. Could totally be like, yank! And usurp control, if they wanted to. Alright, Meriden, let's go!
Show me what you got!
First-gen Death Knights legitimately are pretty weak, especially compared to the Warcraft 3 varieties. But... Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Yeah! But yeah, they were a bit of a game changer for the time.
Uther trained you well, Arthas.
You do your order proud, boy.
Listen, I'll be with you in just a second.
Your kingdom as well.
Hang on. Just...
Come, my son. We have much to attend to.
Give me a sec, Dad. Just hang on. So, this is wonderful visual storytelling. Jaina, who is currently an apprentice, has made a portal to Dalaran. You can actually see it's a Dalaran portal just from looking at it right there. And has just kind of snuck her way in to say hi.
I can't stay for long. Back to my...
Jaina, what are you doing here?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your training.
Why are you hiding away back here?
I didn't want to distract you. I just wanted a little break.
They put too much pressure on you in Dalaran.
I could say the same for you. They expect so much of you.
Come visit.
What?
Come see me. My family and my kingdom. Take a real break.
You're right. I should. I will.
Care to stay longer today?
I can't, but... seeing you was enough.
Call me a weirdo. The lost romance between these two is one of the bits of the Arthas tragedy that hits me the hardest. I don't really... I don't know, maybe I'm just a softie at heart. These two had some real chemistry. In pretty much everything they've ever been in. Every time these two actually got to interact, in the books, in the games, in the flashbacks like we're playing right now. Would have been a hell of a power couple, too, if you think about it. But do a more detached perspective. Yep. Moving on.
Hello, my son.
Yeah, that does sound like Darren DePaul. Yes, Eleazar. I heard the soldiers from all the way over here. Sounds like you gave them a lesson in humility. And of course, the way you handled Mirrodin. Of course, you were born for this.
As both prince and paladin, Arthas placed the future of his kingdom above all else. Then, one day, a terrible plague beset Lordaeron, one that turned its victims into the undead.
Tread lightly.
Yeah. Cho got to read about all this. What are you meant to scourge? Why, the living, of course. I really hope they've got... If I was at Blizzard, I would be streamlining more lore walking with Cho. It's not like he's in any danger of retiring or dying, but at the same time, do you want to risk that? Do you want to risk losing him as your voice actor for Lore Walker Cho? Because, I don't. It is. It is a great way to make specific older content relevant. Sorry, one moment, please. And yeah, the fact that he visited the Scarlet Monastery. If you don't understand the significance, the Scarlet Monastery, which I don't think was even called that back then, was the birthplace of the Knights of the Silver... Sorry, no, it wasn't the birthplace. It was the central headquarters, excuse me, of the Knights of the Silver Hand. So it makes perfect sense that he would be training there. And I'm sorry, there is a wonderful appropriateness for Arthas Menethil having doubts about his future and training in the Scarlet freaking Monastery. Anyways. Yeah, Khadgar's voice actor is another one I'm worried about. Honestly, I would probably quietly write him out. Let him go retire, you know? Just Let him bow out of the world stage. I mean, Metzen himself has actually been very open about the fact that he wants to finish the Last Titan before he gets too old to do it. Relatable, by the way. 1 second, please.
It's so nice to see you.
So, Chromie, why have I been sent back to this particular place in time? The infinite dragon... the infinite dragonfly, is it? She doesn't have a gnome voice. I can't do a gnome voice. I can't do Chromie. The infinite dragonflight is attempting to alter the destiny of Prince Arthas Menethil. You know him now as the Lich King, but here and now he's still Prince of Lordaeron, trying to do what was best for his kingdom. Arthas makes a very fateful choice today, leading to something we Keepers of Time call an inflection point in the timeline. Arthas gave the order to cull Stratholme, killing every single human within its walls. He discovered evidence that the Scourge had infected the city with their insidious plague, and the disease doesn't just kill people. Those who died of this plague rise up as mindless zombies for the fueling the Scourge war machine. The Infinites are attempting something unusually subtle for them. They're trying to hide the evidence that will lead to Arthas deciding to cull Stratholme. Their agents have used illusory magic based on the plagued grain shipments in the nearby countryside to make them appear normal. I need you to find the hidden grain and use this arcane disruptor on the shipments. Arthas' men are looking for the plagued grain and should find it quickly with the illusion gone.
It's been a pleasure.
Now, we actually already did this, so I'm just going to kind of rush through this. We've literally done this. We've done this dungeon. I actually have nothing to add to this. So we're just going to kind of... boop. This is the culling dungeon. By the way, a little pro tip. Do not do this quest as a group. It does not know how to handle a group. It will get confused. It's especially bad. So what actually happened to us, we had 3 people in it. 2 of us were quest synced, the other was getting ahead of us, but hadn't gotten out of the dungeon. So the 3rd person was at the point where they were like doing the last step of the dungeon when we entered the dungeon. It really didn't like that. That took some rejiggering. Join us, Valerian. Join us in the superior MMO! Don't mind me, I'm just a very regular human paladin with Uther's hammer, riding a molten worm. That's actually an interesting question off the deeper end. Because I get what you mean, right? Arguably, Lord Ravencrest is a more important character for the overall history of the world than Arthas Menethil. But which one of those characters has more on-screen presence, right?
Why, hello. Is this goodbye or...
Glad you could make it, Uther.
Watch your tone with me, boy. You may be the prince, but I'm still your superior as a paladin.
As if I could forget. Listen, Uther. There's something about the plague you should know. Oh no. We're too late. These people have all been infected. They may look fine now, but it's just a matter of time before they turn into the undead.
What?
This entire city must be purged.
How can you even consider that? There's got to be some other way.
Damn it, Uther. As your future king, I order you to purge this city!
You are not my king yet, boy. Nor would I obey that command even if you were.
Then I must consider this an act of treason.
Treason? Have you lost your mind, Arthas?
Have I? Lord Uther, by my right of succession and the sovereignty of my crown, I hereby relieve you of your command and suspend your paladins from service.
Arthas, you can't just...
It's done. Those of you who have the will to save this land, follow me. The rest of you, get out of my sight.
You've just crossed a terrible threshold, Arthas.
Jaina?
I'm sorry, Arthas. I can't watch you do this.
Yeah, Patrick Seitz is the modern voice for Arthas. Who does a solid job of it, too. This is such a wonderful moment of the story. It always has been. I'll never stop gushing about it. Someday I'll actually do a review of Warcraft 3.
To begin the culling. We must contain and purge the infected for the sake of all of Lordaeron.
Yeah, Seitz is Arthas. And Garrosh, I think, yeah. And I'm pretty sure he's also Rakeesh. And a couple other people. When Arthas and Uther were off vampire hunting, what did Arthas say to him? Glad you could stake it, Uther.
A small sacrifice for the greater good. Everyone looks ready. Remember, these people are all infected with the plague and will die soon. We must purge Stratholme to protect the remainder of Lordaeron from the scourge. Let's go.
I can also tell you a more PG-13 story. It's from my latest, very, very heavily pornographic slash fic between Arthas and Uther.
I can only help you with a clean death.
Glad you could naked, Uther.
That was just the beginning.
Yes, this is the beginning. I've been waiting for you, young prince. I am Mal'Ganis. As you can see, your people are now mine. I will now turn this city, household by household, until the flame of life has been snuffed out.
I won't allow it, Mal'Ganis. Better that these people die by my hand than serve as your slaves in death.
At one point in time, Arthas and Uther were sitting down to finally play WoW. Uther had been resistant for years, but the final thing that successfully made Arthas convince Uther to play it was Dragonflight. At which point he said, "Glad you could drake it, Uther." I'm not reading these from anything. I'm just making these up. I will admit I have a rhyming thing up here, so I'm looking at words that rhyme with... Whoa! Yeah. So it skips you ahead of most of the dungeon, by the way. And we just kind of skip ahead to the Mal'Ganis part here.
Have mercy, for I will not.
This is where it gets screwed up, by the way, because this is the dungeon. So if that trigger doesn't trigger, then yeah, you're just stuck doing the dungeon, and it doesn't work correctly. In fact, the door is locked, and you cannot progress because the triggers aren't working.
This will be a fine test.
Down you go.
Your journey has just begun, young prince. Gather your forces and meet me in the Arctic land of Northrend. It is there that we shall settle the score between us. It is there that your true destiny...
I'll hunt you to the ends of the earth if I have to. Do you hear me?
Mal'Ganis
to the ends of the earth! You performed well this day. Anything that Mal'Ganis has left behind is yours. Take it as your reward.
But I'm in combat. Ah! Ah! Zombies! Zombies! Ah! Zombies!
Did not relent in his
can't
pursuit
afford
of
to spare you.
Mal'Ganis. He would deliver retribution for what the Dreadlord had done, and for what Mal'Ganis had forced him to do in return.
And I'm with Mr. Red, by the way. This is a concept, it's a human concept I've talked about a few times. The more distant you are from something horrible, the easier it is for you to mentally process it, right? You could say killing an entire town, right? Honestly, that probably barely registers across your emotional spectrum, just hearing me say that. Kill an entire town. Zoom in a little bit more, and you actually see the town on fire, and you hear the screams, and that's already horrific. Then you zoom in a little bit more, and it gets worse. And it pretty much never stops getting worse, right? Like, as you're zooming in, until you get to, like, as zoomed in as you can get. Like, the perspective of an individual soldier running through town, burning things and stabbing civilians as they are desperately fleeing or begging for their lives. That is... I'm saying this with a very neutral tone, because it's horrific. It's difficult to even properly process it. And I think that's exactly what Arthas went through. Is he's like, I have no choice. I have to purge the city, or else all these people will be slaves in death. It's the only choice. And then he had to actually do it. And I know I've pointed this out before, but there's a wonderful, wonderful piece of artwork, which is in the Chronicles book, which showed Arthas just being broken. Just everything about the artwork was phenomenal. It just showed him looking at the blood on his hands. Or no, actually, no, he's like kneeling like this, and there's blood on his hands, and his head is downcast. And you could tell he's just destroyed. Because Arthas was as zoomed in as you could get.
One less obstacle to deal with.
He was there on the front lines, murdering civilians.
How does today find you?
And so here we can hear about the Undead Plague, Stratholme, and Mal'Ganis.
Farewell.
Few survived the expedition to Northrend. Restless ghosts haunted those forlorn shores long afterward.
At one point in time, Uther was trying to give a gift to King Tyrannus, but he didn't know what to give him. And it got up to the deadline. He had no idea what to do. So, like, literally on Christmas Day. Literally on Christmas Day. That's the image. That's the image right there. God, that's such a powerful image. He... he went to the local petrol station, grabbed some things off the shelf, and just shoved them in Tyrannus' head, saying, "Here you go, these are great!" And managed to successfully convince King Tyrannus that he had put thought and effort and work into getting those gifts for him. At which point Arthas leaned over and said, "Glad you could fake it, Uther." I'm done. For realsies. Of course it's a WebP. Why wouldn't it be? It's the worst image. I would literally rather have basic-ass JPEGs than WebPs. It's okay. Hang on. I'm just going to show it to you. Here you go. This is the image I just mentioned. This is actually a very large image, and so I apologize for the relatively smaller version you're seeing. This is... If I just zoom this in for a second, look at his face. Look at that. This is unironically one of the most impressive, well-done pieces of art I've ever seen in Warcraft history, and that is saying something. so much of the pain and weight and guilt of everything is just, even down to his body posture. Did you notice how he's actually leaning on his mace, which is, of course, bloodied in one particular corner? He is literally leaning on his mace to stay up. Yeah, this is the face of someone whose soul has been destroyed. Not in some vague, zoomed-out kind of a way. In a very, very personal kind of a way. And yeah, down there we see the troops, the ghouls, and the piles of the dead. And of course, the usage of color. You notice there's only one bit of red on the entire scene. And it's right there on his hands. I think there's also some red on the thing, but still, it just, the usage of color there really draws your eyes to his hand, right there. Just whoosh. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah, most of the other blood is either browned or caked, and the fires in the background are more orange or amber. But there's this very bright red. Good God. Which do I prefer? Pandaria intro or War Within intro? Well, it's funny you asked that. Did you know? I keep track of that sort of thing. So let's look at our cutscenes positives. So the highest scoring cutscene in the entire game is Old Soldier, because of course it is. But let's move on from that. By the way, that's not counting the part that's not in the game, the first one. The second highest scoring one in the entire game is actually a Warbringers. It is Warbringers Ashara. I have re-examined that opinion since we have done that review, and I stand by that. That is probably the best individual cutscene in the entire game. And it is in the game, too, so it gets credit for it. That is, it's poetry. Every second contains something phenomenal. But now to your actual point, because the third highest scoring is the War Within opening cinematic. The opening cinematic for War Within is just crazy good. And it is the third best cutscene in the entire game, which is saying something considering the competition it's got in this game. Whew. My favorite little detail, my favorite individual zoomed in part of that cutscene, Arthas stepping forward to steady Anduin's shaking sword against his chest. The level of trust... What'd I say? I said Arthas. Thrall stepping forward. Thrall stepping forward. The level of trust displayed. The level of personal connection, right? I mean, honestly, that kind of would be dope. I'm not gonna lie. Where is Pandaria? Pandaria was very high up, but I think even Pandaria is not fourth, and I'm right because where is it? Where is it? I know I'm staring right at it. Am I? Maybe I'm not. Where is it? It's like right here. Maybe it is fourth. Never mind. Pandaria is fourth. I'm wrong. I'm dumb. Glad you could make it, Anduin. Okay, we're done for real this time. That wasn't me. I was just repeating Esmir Star's question, or his statement. And you're probably wondering what the hell we're doing in Northrend. I should probably mention, we're actually in Northrend right now. I can even prove it. Look, we can fly. Look at that. Hey, here's Noxaramus. We can go to Nox right now.
How do you do it?
So, I'm actually not going to read these quests either, if that's okay, because we've also done these quests, along with 700,000 hours of the Borean Tundra. But you'll notice once again what they're doing, and this is actually pretty cool.
Talk to me.
They are showing specific individual content as well as new content from the game in order to try and convey a story. So while there is some asset reuse here, once again, the game gets credit for it. Right?
Greetings. Be careful.
Yeah, also you can replay some quests. You can really play this. Just we can replay these quests, which I think makes these the only quests in the game we can actually replay. Because I've done these quests. Night. Damn it, Evo! No! We're done, Evo! We're done! Yeah!
You need something? For the Alliance.
Don't make me bring out the Rhyme Dictionary again. I'll do it.
Greetings.
So, yes.
Goodbye.
For the record, I'll just summarize this real quickly. Auric Trueheart was actually there for the expedition. And, he was given a specific task by a shaman to try and figure out this whole thing. And he's trying to figure out why all of these ghosts are here. It turns out it's because these goats are, try to be shocked, ghosts. No, I'm not being facetious. Remember, a ghost is a piece of someone kind of left over because they have unfinished business, very specifically. And that is absolutely what's going on here. These people were so messed up about the event that you're about to see, actually.
I apologize, emissary, but the prince is away on an errand. What brings you to this desolate place?
By royal edict, you men are to return to Lordaeron immediately. Lord Uther has convinced the king to recall this expedition.
We to just pick up and leave?
That's correct. My men report that the roads from here to the shore are held by the undead. You'll need to find an alternate route back to your ships.
To hell with the undead. We'll cut our way through the woods, man.
Aw, that is a nice picture, yeah. Although you picked the wrong wiki, Uthor, just as a heads up.
Why are the guards not at their posts?
Well, my lord, your father had our troops recalled at Lord Uther's request.
Uther had my troops recalled? Damn it! If my warriors abandon me, I'll never defeat Mal'Ganis. The ships must be burned before the men reach the shore.
Isn't that a bit much, lad?
Burned down to their frames! No one goes home until our job here is done!
You lied to your men and betrayed the mercenaries who fought for you. What's happening to you, Arthas? Is vengeance all that's important to you?
Spare me, Muradin. You weren't there to see what Mal'Ganis did to my homeland.
So, our lives were worth more than your blood feud. That is such a great quote. That... oh, yeah. Also, can I add a little detail? It's a very, very minor detail, but Patrick Seitz is a fantastic voice actor. And there's a tiny, subtle nuance he added to that line. You lie... spare me, Muradin. Oh, no, here it is. No, it was actually the line before that. Excuse me. Burned down to their frames. When he says the word frames, for just a second, his voice broke. You might not have even heard it. It was so natural, because Patrick Seitz is a great actor. And I bring it up because the original line, back in Warcraft 3, he sounded angry, and that's it. That's fine, of course. But Patrick Seitz added another second emotion to that line reading, which is pain. the idea that this was still hurting him to do it, which is fantastic. And once again, adds some much-needed nuance to this situation, which was already a gigantic mess.
Hello. Goodbye.
Yep.
Farewell to ye.
So we're gonna flip up over here. Pass, Aurelia. That's my answer to that.
What can I do for you?
So, hey, look. It's sure, whatever.
See you later.
So, then he wants us to go to this cave. Now, I'm actually really glad that this quest exists, because this wasn't a very well telegraphed quest back in Wrath, and I know plenty of people, even back in the day, who missed this one. Especially since it's an Alliance-only quest. So this is the cave from the mission of Warcraft 3. It was an Alliance-only quest. So this is great visual storytelling. There's Arthas's mace, still sitting here. There's Mirrodin's mace and axe. And there's where Frostmourne was.
Behold, Mirrodin, our salvation, Frostmourne.
Halt, lad. There's an inscription on the dais. It's a warning. It says, "Whomsoever takes up this blade shall wield power eternal. Just as the blade rends flesh, so must power scar the spirit." Oh, I should have known. The blade is cursed. Let's get the hell out of here.
I would gladly bear any curse to save my homeland.
Leave it be, Arthas. Forget this business and lead your men home.
Damn the men! Nothing shall prevent me from having my revenge, old friend. Not even you. Now, I call out to the spirits of this place. I will give anything or pay any price if only you will help me save my people.
And he did. And he did. But then Mirrodin got back up. Whoops. Why not voiced? And I don't know. I mean, it's not like Arthas saved the world alone, but yeah, Arthas did save the world in Wrath. He failed at revenge, amusingly enough.
Burn down to their frames. No one goes home until our job here is done.
Yeah, you can hear it, right? You can hear that. Although I'm not sure why it's so quiet.
Good day to you.
So, oh my god, Mirrodin lives? We need to kill King Bronzebeard.
See you around.
But that's another story.
Greetings. Every good story needs a hero.
Cho has grown silent.
Farewell.
It's just...
Eyes open.
What makes a king? Is it his crown? Is it the sharpness of his sword? The coldness of his heart? Perhaps the undying servitude of his people? Just as it is difficult to say when a sapling becomes a tree or a mountain becomes a hill, so too it is difficult to know when exactly King Arthas Menethil passed into memory, and the Lich King was born. Where do we draw the line between man and monster?
Jade Serpent guide you. Hello.
So here we can hear about Icecrown Citadel and the Lich King. This is where they're actually talking about the first Lich King here, specifically.
Tread lightly. Jade Frostmourne changed Arthas. No longer was he a paladin of the light, but a knight in the service of death. But the people of Lordaeron were none the wiser. His homecoming was met with roses and ringing bells. It ended with betrayal and blood.
Ah, my son. You no longer need to sacrifice for your people. You no longer need to bear the weight of your crown. I've taken care of everything.
What is this? What are you doing, my son?
Succeeding you, father.
It's actually really well animated, reusing the in-engine like that. Also, interesting re-emphasis. Let me tell you about the jailer. No! In the cinematic, he put emphasis on the word succeeding. Succeeding you, father. In this version, he put the emphasis on the word you. Succeeding you, father. It's an interesting take, and it changes the nuance just a tiny bit. Also, I'm just going to leave this up on screen for a few seconds. No reason. Yes, I have this on standby for every single stream. Why do you ask? Anyways, continuing. Was Arthas truly lost?
Ever a man who had lived so strongly, had loved and fought so fearlessly. Arthas had fallen as far as he once climbed.
Actually, no, we don't on Falkenstein.
Returning to Northrend, Arthas continued his descent into damnation, and his ascent to the Frozen Throne.
The quest objective says, Icecrown lies before you, waiting. Frostmourne bids you ascend.
How I miss those endless days in Lordaeron.
No! You monster!
Treason! You lost your mind, Arthas.
Oh, sorry. The name of this is called Morning Strike. Direct your rage and sorrow at those whom you have left behind.
Lordaeron looks to us.
Arthas, my son, the crown weighs heavily on your head. You shall learn in time. The wind howls in your ears. No king rules forever.
Was Arthas truly gone? Did only the Lich King remain? It is not for me to say.
Spoilers, no.
Jaina Proudmoore refused to lose hope.
that the man she once loved was truly lost. Greetings. Eyes open. Always be learning. In the glacial mountains of Ice Crown, Jaina braved the Lich King's sanctum on a desperate quest for the truth.
By the way, speaking of framing, look at that shot. This is back in Wrath. Blizzard's always known how to do framing. Yeah, let me pull that into first person so you can really take that in. Look at that.
The chill of this place. Ugh. I can feel my blood freezing. What is that? Up ahead. Could it be? Heroes at my side!
Yeah, the Alliance version was just better top to bottom for all of these dungeons, actually.
I can't stay for long. I hope we can speak again soon.
Now it's really important. I'm using this weapon here.
Frostmourne. The blade that destroyed our kingdom. Stand back! Touch that blade and your soul will be scarred for all eternity. I must attempt to commune with the spirits locked away within Frostmourne. Give me space. Back up, please!
Oh, sorry, I didn't think that was going to be that. Flashing lights. Sorry. It's Uther's from Wolfenstein. Yeah, that Uther.
Could it truly be you?
Uther! Dear Uther! I'm so sorry.
Jaina, you haven't much time. The Lich King sees what the sword sees. He will be here.
Arthas is here?
No, girl. Arthas is not here. Arthas is merely a presence within the Lich King's mind. A dwindling presence.
But Uther, if there's any hope of reaching Arthas, I must try.
Jaina, listen to me. You must destroy the Lich King. You cannot reason with him. He will kill you and your allies and raise you all as powerful soldiers of the Scourge.
Tell me how, Uther. How do I destroy my prince?
Snap out of it, girl. You must destroy the Lich King at the place where he merged with Ner'zhul. Atop the spire, at the frozen throne. It is the only way.
You're right, Uther. Forgive me. I don't know what got a hold of me. We will deliver this information to the king and the knights that battle the Scourge within Icecrown Citadel.
There is something else that you should know about the Lich King. Control over the Scourge must never be lost. Even if you were to strike down the Lich King, another would have to take his place. For without the control of its master, the Scourge would run rampant across the world, destroying all living things.
Additional negative for the fact that they threw this plot point away in Shadowlands.
By a noble soul.
Who could bear such a burden?
I do not know, Jaina. I suspect that the piece of Arthas that might be left inside the Lich King is all that holds the Scourge from annihilating Azeroth.
Then maybe there is still hope.
No, Jaina!
He is coming. You... Silence, Paladin. So, you wish to commune with the dead. You shall have your wish. Ulrich, Marwyn, bring their corpses to my chamber when you are through.
As you wish, my lord.
Soldiers of Lordaeron, rise to meet your master Skull.
You won't deny me this, Arthas. I must know. I must find out.
Yeah, that's the problem, and that's why we gave it a negative in Shadowlands. It really was, like, just bad storytelling. Look, if you take a major plot point and then retcon it to be something better, cool. If you take a major plot point and completely ignore it, less cool. Like, again, this was not some, like, casual side quest thing that you had to get to rep Exalted with one specific faction to see. This was MSQ, and they were just like, yeah, so the Scourge Rampage, and we're done. It's actually, they didn't completely ignore it. It's actually worse. It was just like, oh my god, the Scourge Rampaging. And then that was it, and we're done.
None was spared the Master's wrath. Your death will despair. Morwen, finish them.
See, what I'll probably end up doing in the R Warcraft, assuming I even keep that plot point, is something slightly more nuanced. I'm very curious either. Because, to me, the idea that the Scourge would just be unstoppable without the Lich King never fully made sense. So I'm kind of with you guys that it's not a great plot point. But I've always liked the idea more that death... How do I explain this? The wall was already breached. We can't go back to there being that barrier between life and death. So they needed someone to help regulate it. Otherwise, the whole ship is going to sink. Does that make sense? To me, that feels like a more logical perspective. That the Lich King is now mandatory, not to keep the Scourge in check, but to keep death in check. Because death is broken.
Bitter, cold embrace awaits you.
Is that an upgrade? What's my item level? 618. Okay.
You are not worthy to face the Lich King.
Okay. I mean, yeah, he did say, I will be the jailer of the damned. If being completely honest, that's probably where the name came from. Remember, and I semi-proved this during the run, the jailer was so last minute. I have argued strongly the jailer didn't even exist when they started making Shadowlands.
Just as you promised. You will all become powerful agents of the Scourge.
He is too powerful. We must leave this place at once. My magic can hold him in place for only a short time. Come quickly, heroes.
Back to my studies, I suppose.
It's entirely possible the jailer did not exist when they started work on the zones. Remember, and again, I showed my work on this. I showed my evidence of this. It's very clear there were supposed to be 4 different types of what they eventually condensed into just anima.
Destroy this barrier. You must hold the undead back.
And the 4 factions were a lot more diverse at first, and they weren't all player factions, right? Like, Maldraxxus was originally designed to just straight up be the original Scourge, and the bad guys as a consequence of that. And then they kind of rejiggered that a little bit into this crude Valhalla thing. And just all of the mess that Shadowlands wants, all of these ideas that just kind of got slammed into each other. So it wouldn't surprise me that, because of how production cycles work, that most of the zones and the quests of the zones were done before the jailer was even invented. And to be clear, that's not like what I want to be true. I think that's just what is. Yeah, that's why I keep adding that asterisk. I'm talking like a lawyer here. Alleged, right? I cannot say with absolute certainty that that's the truth. But I am personally 100% convinced that that is the truth. That the jailer was invented extremely last minute. We know that Sylvanas was originally supposed to be the villain of Shadowlands.
Don't give up.
We know that that idea was torpedoed thanks to executive meddling. We know that thanks to analysis of the trailers and analysis of some of the initial quest chains, which have no reference to the jailer whatsoever, by the way, that he wasn't in existence when those things were in production, and so forth and so on, right? Yeah, no, it does, von Falkenstein. And we know that there was original form for the four zones. We know that they were going to go a different route with the four factions, etc., etc., etc. So, is this absolute truth? No. Do I think it is absolute truth? Yes. It is my opinion that that is the truth, that the jailer was tacked on extremely last minute to just kind of be the guy behind the guy behind the guy behind the guy. And, yeah. I mean, one of the things I complained about was how Denathrius was super duper loyal to the jailer for no explained reason. They never, ever came up with a reason why Denathrius was so loyal. And that's kind of a substantial linchpin of the entire story of Shadowlands, because Denathrius is arguably behind everything, thanks to his manipulations with the Nathrezim. We'll see if they ever do anything with that. Because at this point, maybe just leave the sleeping dogs lie, you know? It does, Uther. It's very, very much his style, absolutely. We also know he didn't leave notes.
Opening up ahead. Go now!
We know he didn't leave notes. We know people actively didn't know where he was going with the story. We know he spitefully refused to share any of his thoughts, assuming he even had them. We don't know. After he got fired for being a bad human being. Yeah, this is the guy who said that Sylvanas was deliberately behind the Wrathgate. Which is bullcrap, by the way.
No choice but to fight. Steel yourself, heroes, for this is our last stand.
Right now, Elizar? Like 5 hours. That's with no bonuses, of course. Hop into Legion Remix, make a new character, and with the experience boosts, which looks like I don't have here, you will level extremely quickly. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, there's a lot of bits and pieces of evidence all over the place. No, Aurelia.
You're mine now.
If you're a noob, yeah, absolutely, Elizar. I could hit level 80 in about an hour right now.
Climb aboard.
But I have, like, 420% bonus experience right now. Yeah, I was actually paying attention, by the way. When I did this the first time, there is not a single reference to the jailer in the entire story arc about the Lich King. Think about that.
Forgive me, heroes. I should have listened to Uther. I had to see for myself. To look into his eyes one last time. I am sorry. We now know what must be done. I will deliver this news to King Varian and High Lord Fordring.
Yeah, they don't even. There's not even a reference. There is a conscious decision to just push him out.
Hello. Like thunder after lightning, the anguish that the Lich King left in his wake caught up to him in the end. From atop the frozen throne, he wielded his cursed blade and set his final plan into motion.
So, this is probably my personal favorite part of this quest chain. By the way, the name of this quest is Othanagor. So that down there is the raid. Who's about to fight us. We're playing the Lich King. The quest text says, "You are the Lich King. The whole of Azeroth is arrayed against you. Show them what it means to be king." Yeah, sorry. Othanagor, a.k.a. O King. And yeah, of course the Lich King is just going to butcher shred his way through the party. Alright, it's just the Warlock. The Warlock's got this! You think he's got this? I don't think he's got this. Yeah.
Rise up, champions of the light!
I'll let it play.
Father, is it over?
At long last. No king rules forever, my son.
I see. Only darkness before me.
Damn it, Uther. I'm really proud of my own edit of this scene, as Miristar, for the Warcraft. I don't know if you've seen it. If you haven't, that hurts a little bit, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about.
How does today find you?
His reign was short, yet terrible.
Tread lightly. Greetings.
It is a heavy story full of terrible deeds and unhappy endings, but it is a story that must be told.
Thank you for listening to my tale, friend.
It was relatively short reign. In fact, it was what, like 6? Hang on. Nine years? 8 years. Okay. Yeah, it was not a long reign, really. Especially not in the history of this world. So, that was awesome. Yeah, he was also absent for 5 of those, so his real reign was just 3 years. Hell, even that's not quite true. He didn't really do much until Wrath itself showed up. Although, actually, that's not true. He woke up at the end of Vanilla, and then he interacted with the Death Knights at the end of Vanilla. And then he just kind of chilled during BC, getting prepped for his plan. So, that was his active range there. End of Vanilla to end of Wrath. That's it. What is the longest ongoing war in WoW history? I suppose the answer to that would be the Burning Crusade, which at the moment was going for about 20 millennia. Yeah, end of Vanilla, Arkansas. Nobody listens to me. Alright, so. Nobody listens to me! Why does nobody listen to me? Such a huge frustration for me. Okay. So. Let's just pretend it doesn't, Raleigh, and save ourselves all a headache. How am I doing? I don't want to do those because I want to save those for that. I don't want to do that because I'm saving that for that. So, what is this quest? Oh, this is the... Yeah, that's the Earthen quest. We've actually done that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, the Burning Crusade is technically not done. Only because the person who the Burning Crusade was started by is still functional. Sargeras. Within Azeroth itself? Oh, geez, I don't know. I don't know.
Understand your frustration, Gaora, but do not rush to conclusions.
Sargeras is still alive. He has left the narrative, but he is still alive. I was just thinking that. Sorry, we could do these in kind of a whatever order, but it's kind of late and I don't have a lot of time tonight. Let's do the Kirin Tor quest. And then we'll cut it there.
I'm glad to see you, still in the thick of things.
We've all suffered from Xalatath's deeds. Some others. I'm glad to be alive, even if I now feel as old as I look. He tries to laugh, but coughs instead. He waves off your worry. Don't worry about me. But Aethys... I've heard he went back to Dalaran's crash site, and that he hasn't slept or eaten since we arrived. He wants my help, but I haven't been able to bring myself to visit the crash site. Will you go in my stead?
Nice chatting with you. We all grieve Dalaran, but Aethys may need help processing its loss.
So, deadliest war in history? In Azeroth history, that's definitely the War of the Ancients. That was the big one. As much as it doesn't have a lot of on-screen relevance, the impact of that war is the result... Everything in the entire setting is the result of the War of the Ancients. The Hellscream War was certainly a big one. But not that big. Speaking of which, the Cold War between the Alliance and the Horde... It kind of depends on when you think it started. However, I would say that personally that the Cold War only really
hold more than just debris.
Really started.
Survivors are still unaccounted for. Please.
Only started in vanilla and only lasted until Wrath. So that's not a huge chunk of time. Having said that, the Hellscream War started in Wrath. I know it didn't start formally, but let's be clear. The Hellscream War started in Wrath. And then that led to Wrath, Cata, Pandaria. So that's actually a fairly large war. Okay, hang on. It's okay, I should be able to just nuke this.
My freedom must be bought with blood.
Fun fact, this guy was actually a boss back in the Violet Hold.
This is an unrecoverable...
And now he's dead. The Hellscream War is an interesting one. Unfortunately, it very technically also lasted up to the end of, I guess I should say the middle of BFA. I know that's not literally true, but let's be very clear. The Hellscream War flowed directly into the Banshee War. Like, honestly, the Hellscream War paused for, like, 2 years, and then went right into the Banshee War. So, yeah. By the way, if you're wondering why you've never heard any of those terms before, it's because they're my terms, because the formal name for the Hellscream War doesn't exist. They've never named it. And the formal name for the Banshee War is the Fourth War, which is insulting at best. So screw both of those names, or lack of names. I've been calling it the Hellscream War for years. The Banshee War was something we came up with this year while we were streaming it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to pick up some singed plushies. And then I need to say thank you to Game Geek. But I refuse! No, okay. Thank you, Game Geek, very, very much. I do appreciate you muchly. I'm pretty sure this isn't that direction, Huthor, but at the same time, it's worth noting. So I was in Lemix, literally 2 nights ago. And I noticed there were kids. And all I'm going to say about that is, have you ever seen Star Trek The Next Generation? No, hang on. I'm going somewhere with this. I want you to do me a favor. The next time you watch TNG, I want you to think about every single time that the Enterprise is in some kind of life-threatening danger. Remember that there are a lot of civilians on that ship at all times. There are kids, there are families, there are roaming dignitaries, there's people who are just using it for transport temporarily. Every single time, like there's some threat of the week that threatens to rip the ship apart. There's a bunch of kids down in B deck going, ah! That's not a joke. That's not like some kind of ho ho ho, Star Trek is secretly fascist kind of thing. The problem is that the writers of TNG kept forgetting that fact, except when they, wanted to remember it. Yeah, the one and only major time skip. We've had 2 time skips in the history of WoW. One was between Wrath and Kata, which is obvious, and the other was between Shadowlands and Dragonflight. No, Baron.
What brings you here?
Every piece of Dalaran we preserve, no matter how small, is valuable. Thank you.
By the way, have I mentioned that that dude, I can't remember his name, is a freaking great voice actor? The guy who voices Nathanos, and as a consequence, also Aethys. Jim Perry. Yeah. Dude's great. Nothing but praise. I honestly think that Jim Perry is one of the main reasons that Nathanos has never been a get-off-my-screen character.
Well done, champion. Your efforts have safeguarded our knowledge for generations.
You're welcome. So, speaking of a wonderful voice actor...
Not quite right.
So, let's take a look at some visual storytelling here for a second. So, we have already been told Aethys has been standing over here, not sleeping or eating for an uncertain period of time. He has kind of carved out a little spot here amongst the grass. He's got a couple of cushions, a crate of supplies, a letter, some little baubles, a little plushie, gotta have the plushie, a painting of the central tower of Dalaran, some magical artifact, and a statue of some import, along with, of course, his magical implements. And yeah, keep in mind, the only reason he can probably do this is because he's a freaking elf.
For Dalaran.
Aethys's posture is etched with the exhaustion of sleepless nights and days without food. His tattered clothes hang loosely on his emaciated frame, and his every movement seems fatigued. I see. I knew Khadgar was gravely injured, but it did not occur to me his wounds were more than physical. I respect his choice not to come here.
May we next meet?
He sighs heavily, his voice tinged with sorrow. Dalaran, once a symbol of unity and arcane mastery, now reduced to rubble and ash. Again. Yeah, as a fresh reminder, this is the 2nd time Dalaran's been knocked over. Actually, that's a lie. It's the 3rd. So much loss and so much pain. Friends and comrades gone in an instant, their voices silenced by Xal'atath. He takes a deep breath, steeling himself against the overwhelming grief. But now's the time for action, not grief. We must regroup with the remaining Kirin Tor. However, the right words do not come easily.
It is important I've been struggling to find the right words to pen this letter.
I was actually specifically thinking of the events of the 2nd War of Pillars of Snow. The demonic horde canonically did charge through Dalaran. And there were 2? Don't quote me on that. There was at least 1 mission in Warcraft 2, which specifically was knock over Dalaran. And I know at least one of those missions is canon, because it's the expansion, and all the expansion missions are canon. But I swear the other mission is canon, too, because remember, the demonic horde was winning, until the Alliance turned it around. So, like, it's kind of a mixed match of which sides were canon in Warcraft 2. Yeah, then there's Warcraft 3. That would be when Arthas, as well as Archimonde, rolled through. And then Xal'atath. That's the one I was referencing, Uthor. The loss of Dalaran and much of our fellowship is a great tragedy. I think we would all benefit from coming together to meet informally as comrades to discuss the fate of the Kirin Tor going forward. Our most pressing agenda would be how to preserve and make safe the crash site of Dalaran. I understand if returning here or seeing it destroyed for the first time may be too much, but for those of you who can, please make your way to the Isle of Dorn. I would benefit from seeing you and do need your help. So that's our first option. Second option. Dalaran has fallen, but we, the Kirin Tor, have not been vanquished. The time to act is upon us. Our order must rise from the ashes and once again fulfill our duty not only as defenders of Azeroth, but as curators and custodians of magic. Join me in the Isle of Dorn to pick up the pieces of our legacy and the mantle of our responsibility. Join me in rebuilding Kirin Tor. Second option. We who remain of the Kirin Tor have much to mourn. Many of us have lost colleagues, friends, and loved ones in the wake of Dalaran's crash. But to do right by those we lost, we must look forward to the future and make sure their sacrifice was meaningful. Find me in the Isle of Dorn, and we will bring closure to this fateful chapter of the Kirin Tor. And that's the personal one. Very emotional, yeah. So, clinical, rhetorical, that is to say, rhetoric, or emotional. Which one would you pick? Actually, that's true. The Demonic Horde didn't do much more than raid Dalaran. Archimonde knocked over a few towers and caused some damage. Xal'atath knocked the city out of the sky and obliterated it. I want you to take a look at this, because this is what's left of Dalaran now. This is not like hyperbole, right? That this is what's left of Dalaran. I hope they do something with this in the future. Dalaran, the concept, is turbo not gone, right? There's no way. The concept of a city of mages is too inevitable in a setting like this where mages are a cottage industry, right? Remember, in this setting, anyone can learn magic. And lots of people do, at various degrees of specialization, as well as self-regulation and just general skill level, right? There's some mages in this setting who are only particularly good at cleaning clothes. There's some mages in this setting who are really, really good at portal magic, and so forth and so on. We actually see some of this in Legion, which is why this is fresh in my mind. I was thinking the same thing, Kiro, I noise. So there's going to be a Dalaran too. There's going to be a new Dalaran. There's no way there isn't, right? It is inevitable. So, the question is, what do they do with that? Because you can take that a lot of different directions. Yeah, so, like, we'll see. We'll see. Agreed, Spartan. That was just a hell of a moment. Let's go with the emotional one. Boop. There's quite a few off the deeper end. And most of those forums also have sub-forums, right? I have actually described magic in Warcraft like genres in video games before. Hear me out. I'm not just saying that because I'm a video gamer. But I mean that sincerely. Strategy. But strategy means a lot of things. So then you've got your turn-based tactical, and then you've got your grand strategy, and then you've got your 4X, then you've got your RTS, then you've got your squad-based RTS. And then you've got, like, time management, then you've got your colony sims. And that's only zooming down a little bit. There's also operational, excuse me. So that's 8 different types of strategy. And that's a lot of how magic works. Yeah, there's arcane magic, but there's a lot of ways to apply arcane magic in Warcraft.
All that I worked for, gone.
Now we have taken the first step, at least. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're wondering what he's referencing. So, as much as I still think it is a blad, a bad plot point, a bad plot point, they have been using Aethys's complicitness with the incident that led to the purging of Dalaran as a character point for Aethys in particular, pretty much ever since. It actually poked its head in during Legion as well. And it also was referenced slightly in Dragonflight, in like a couple of little side things. So we've had this kind of... Yeah, he's been trying to make up for it, and that's been pretty much his central character point this whole time. And that's why he says a line like, "Everything I've worked for, lost." It's worth noting Aethys has also been a part of Dalaran for a really freaking long time. And yeah, let's be clear. How much blame is on Aethys' shoulders? Debatable. But it doesn't matter, because he has been trying to do everything in his power to redeem himself. Because let's be honest, there's only one person he needs to redeem himself for. Himself.
Still we stand. And so, we fight on.
Kirin Tor survivors have been hesitant to return to this area. A great deal of energy was dispelled before and after Dalaran's crash. An invisible yet tangible miasma lingers in the area for those who are sensitive to it. It is unclear if the site is hazardous or if there are more corporeal dangers that still lurk here. I can protect us, but I expended all my reagents at the proscenium. Will you aid me in procuring more?
May we next meet. This area is dangerous. We must act to protect ourselves while we are here.
Yeah, Aethys... This might be me reading too much into it, but I've always gotten the very strong impression that Aethys... Dalaran was his home. No. I don't mean like it's the place where he slept. I mean, Dalaran was his home. So, he wanted to go home. Really badly. And you're right, he also did reach out to Jaina personally several times to try and fix this whole thing. Oh, absolutely, DeQuack. You kidding me? I gotta review it, if nothing else. Yeah, I mean, this might be presuming a little bit much, but how many of you in chat would absolutely kill, hopefully metaphorically, for a place where you truly belonged? Where you could be yourself, where you're surrounded by your fellows and your peers, people who didn't judge you, people who you were part of that community. Just think about that for a second. Because that is valuable. Yeah, actually, Gunnock Scout. It's actually funny. Dalaran is probably one of the more positively inclined polities within the setting. I know that sounds strange, considering, but no, I mean it. Sure, there's been some politics and there's been some haranguing, but it's probably one of the more accepting, understanding, community-driven of the various polities in this setting. Most of the other places are kingdoms or monarchies or empires or anything. Yeah, it's a very progressive society, which makes a degree of sense to me. I may be strange here, but I don't think you can be that much of a melting pot without having some kind of progressive ideals, right? Because Dalaran was the place where the mages went to. All the mages. And that's the point. Sure, we've had mageocracies that are much, much worse than this. Cough, cough. Old night elves, cough, cough. But Dalaran wasn't an empire of mages. It was a school. And again, it was a melting pot. It was people from absolutely all over. Anyways, excuse me. If I could live in a setting of my own choosing, which would I choose? You're looking at it to quack. Although, I would also be very tempted by Pokemon. And Star Trek. Despite everything, I would still be tempted by Star Trek. How many mages died in this expansion? Anyways.
I hesitate to scavenge reagents from Dalaran, but we need a barrier if we are to remain here.
It's true, Xavier.
The Sun Reavers will defend what remains.
Crystals refract light into a mesmerizing dance of color, evoking a sense of enchantment and boundless magic. Delicate cascades of fine luminous particles, each swirling and twinkling with ethereal glow, imbued with the very essence of magic itself. And finally, a rare fusion of ice and flame, where the clash of opposing elements forms an impenetrable barrier.
Still we stand, and so we fight on.
Yes, these will do, thank you. Despite the shards and elementals roaming there, it seems the ruins are not immediately dangerous. Not if we are to spend any time here, an arcane barrier is wise. We don't know the long-term effects of exposure of this kind. Yeah, as a reminder, there are parts down below where you can see the seepage of Dalaran has started affecting things underneath.
It is important we use our power wisely.
The spell for the barrier is ready, but I must channel it and define its perimeter. While I channel the spell, take these wards and place them at the edges of our would-be barrier. We will empower the spell when you are finished.
Still we stand. And so, place the wards on the ground, champion. I will channel the barrier.
Yeah, this place literally didn't have local ley lines until Dalaran crashed. And now it has whatever that nonsense is. This is another reason I want them to follow through on this. We don't really know what the consequences of this are yet. This is so recent. The quests you're seeing right now were patch content. That's why we're doing them now in the Patch Within stream. That we're following through on the immediate effects. But honestly, this quest is more personal. As Blade Cheval would delight in pointing out, as with everything else about War Within, the theme is personal reaction to trauma.
To me, it seems the Kirin continue to make the same mistakes. If fate has brought Dalaran low twice, maybe it should not be rebuilt. For all the ground we gain, we lose people and history. Now, champion, use the Frostfire Essence to seal the barrier.
Yeah, doubt, by the way.
That will do. I think I may need a moment to catch my breath.
Oh, 100%, Mr. Red. Undermine, first of all, has some personal trauma, which we'll get to when we get there. But also, capitalism. I know that sounds strange. I know. We said we weren't actually going to be talking about politics, but I swear it's directly relevant. What we see, I'm spoiling a little bit, what we see in Undermine is a society that has been recently tainted by excess capitalism, right? Taking it to an extreme. It's actually said directly in one of the short stories, which was between Gazlo and Noggenfogger, that goblins didn't used to be this bad. Go back 2 generations. Yeah, crony capitalism, or late-stage capitalism, what do you want to call it? And the goblins just kind of slowly self-destructing as a culture, as a consequence of that, and the direct impact that has on so many things. That's your trauma right there for the Undermine.
All that I worked for, gone.
Now, hang on, I wanted to address
on the better circumstances.
Yeah, Gallywix actually has a lot more impact than you'd think, because he is almost singularly responsible for why the goblins are everywhere. I don't want to talk about that. We'll come back to that. But all I'll say right now is that Gallywix was the one asshole. You know the concept, right? Everything's fine, and then one asshole screws it up for everyone. Gallywix was the one asshole. Yeah, he was the Garrosh for the goblins. Moving on. Xavion said something I wanted to mention here, because this is actually really interesting, and probably done on purpose, because this is War Within, where the storytelling is really frickin' banger. You notice how there's actually not that much arcane residue here? For those of you familiar with how this... places where bad things have happened... I still haven't said thank you to GameGeek, have I? For those of you familiar with places where bad stuff has happened, arcane-wise in this setting, this should have way more consequences, right? Now, again, we have seen down below that there are some consequences of this. But yeah, Crystal Song Forest is a fantastic example of this. There's also the place where the original Arkandor nuked back in the Suramar area in Legion. She's another example. And yeah, the Caldera is another example. And Ajuna is another example. And the Monobomb. My point is, this should be worse. Way worse. It's not, but that makes sense. Specifically because the Darkheart was actually absorbing. It was taking in the overwhelming majority of that excess magic. Which, ironically, is a good thing. Because while that certainly makes Xalatath stronger and makes the Darkheart better, it means that we don't have, you know, Theramore, right? Because, you know, like picture that for just a second. No joke. I honestly think that if Dalaran had just detonated right here, like actually detonated, Dornagal would be gone. Just whooshed, right? Yeah, I just... Oh yeah, also us, while we're on the subject, we'd be dead. We're strong, but we can't survive a base Delta Zero. Ground zero of a base Delta Zero. So, thanks, Xalatath, for eating all that extra energy for us. Appreciate you. Maybe next time don't blow up Dalaran, just a thought.
For Dalaran, it is important we use our power wisely.
I fear... Oh, the doubt. I'm sorry. I paused there for voice acting, but just... He is drowned in doubt. It is such a strong thematic core of War Within, which makes sense. The Void, right? The Void. I fear it may just be me that remains, or the others are too far away to receive my missive. It may be up to us to build an outpost here and see to the cleansing of the crash site. So be it. It is just as well. Oh.
I doubt if we can do all of this alone. What? What is that on the horizon?
Of course he is not alone, because this is Warcraft.
Friends. Caligos! You got my message!
I'm actually tearing up a little bit. This is such a good goddamn quest. Excuse my language. Oh. God, War Within it just takes the baseball bat to its quest, you know? This isn't even MSQ, by the way. This is a little side story they put together to follow through on the consequences of an event. Isn't that awesome? I'm just saying. Yeah, this is 11.0.7. Yeah, this is quite literally filler quests. I'll call this Prime Opt, because this is absolutely primary content, but it is very optional. What's Dream Whisperer linking? Oh no, it's a virus! Ah. Good pick, Dream Whisperer. Okay, so hold on. I have to already give positive. This is already such a well-done quest, even as of this moment in time. Yes, Sigma is controlling you, Mr. Red. Hey, Storm H. Felix. Oh, don't listen to the noise. Sorry, I don't mean to sound so dismissive. I've been playing WoW for, well, like 20-something years. Don't listen to the noise. Yeah, no kidding, Pose of Snow. Like, oof. Usually this kind of level of emotional care and power would be in the MSQ in FF14. Like, if I could use another example, Earthen Unlock Chain, which is probably the closest I've ever come to bawling like a child while playing this game. Twice. Because I did it when I streamed it earlier this year, and I played it for a friend. I played it with a friend so that they could get their Earthen Unlock later, and it hit me just as freaking hard. That's an optional side quest to unlock a new race. In FF14, that would be MSQ. That would be part of the central chain, because differences in approach. Tokyo Extreme Racer and Naruto. There we go. Sorry, Game Geek. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, that's a good comparison. I like that, Pose of Snow. Oh, dude, the Azure Flight chain was so good. Actually, both really, Huthor, but I meant this quest up here. He's right here. I bet you money if I go there, he's still standing there right now. Holy... Oh, God. What the hell? He's probably still standing there. Holding up his lantern. God damn. Sorry? Yeah, that is unironically one of the best quest chains in the entire game.
Mistakes have been made.
Yeah, one day.
We can learn from them.
One day, Korgrim will slowly be eroded to the sea. It'll take a long time. But for now, he is a beacon. God damn it. Sorry, yeah, sorry. So speaking of feels, Calico says, I was already on my way after hearing about Dalaran's demise. Of course he was! Of course he was. Can we talk? Can we talk? Is that cool? If it's not tough. So, something I have coined semi-recently in my analysis of fiction is that there is positively inclined fiction and negatively inclined fiction. It's obviously not that binary, and it's kind of hard to explain for someone without just using examples. But it has to do with everything, if that makes any sense. Good things can happen in negatively inclined fiction. Bad things can happen in positively inclined fiction. That's why I call it inclined. The idea has to do with what kind of setting is it at its fundamental core. I have actually argued that Warcraft, as of now, I don't think it always was this way, is a positively inclined setting. I don't think it started that way. In fact, I know it didn't. And I don't think that I think there are parts of it that don't fit that mentality. But I absolutely think that the approach and design of the storytellers over the last several years in Warcraft has very much been positively inclined. And rather than go down that whole rabbit hole, let me zoom in on this right here. The blue aspect, who is currently the aspect, this is post-Dragonflight, who is the Lord of Magic, who is currently very busy with a lot of other things. The moment he hears, yeah, he's got the glowy eyes as of right now. He is currently empowered. The moment that he heard that Dalaran went down, he dropped everything and came here. But it's more important than that. I know that sounds strange, but hear me out. Let me explain positively inclined fiction in one simple concept. You are standing alone. You don't know if you can do this. And you are alone. In a negatively inclined story, that could go a lot of ways. Yeah, Aethys' line. I guess it's just up to you and me to do this. It's just as well. And that doubt and that pain and that loss and that grief. And then what happens? Calicos is right there. Because of course he is. Because of course people have his back. Because of course people want to help. That's the type of setting this is. This entire quest chain started because Khadgar was worried about Aethys and sent us just to go check up on him.
I will do whatever I can for the Kirin Tor.
Sorry. I was already on my way here after hearing about Dalaran's demise. I am glad I found you here. Khazalgar wasn't easy to reach. All the arcane energy that had been ceaselessly released from Dalaran's ruins must interfere with long-range teleportation spells. I wonder how many others tried to respond to your missive but couldn't. You see that line, by the way? It's a small thing. It's a small thing. Aethys assumes he's alone because no one's here. And logically, the only reason that no one's here is because they're not coming. But yeah, spoilers. Everybody tried to come. Everybody tried to get here and couldn't. It's one of the reasons Calicos probably busted his ass getting here the old-fashioned way, which he could do because he's a dragon. We can use your help, Calicos.
I can definitely help with that. Here, take this bag and start setting up camp.
Right. Let's see here. Search through a seemingly bottomless bag for a few specific items. How hard could it be? How do they fit in here? Hang on. Let me just, no, hang on. Okay, hang on. Let's go ahead and...
Excuse me. I need a moment with Aethys.
Yeah, by the way, did you notice what just happened there? Calicos.
I brought mana potions, but it's obvious what you really need is rest.
Rest? No. I am afraid to close my eyes, Calicos.
I'm sorry. In case you missed that, I know I've been pausing to talk a lot. Mea culpa. This dude, the Lord of Magic, the aspect of the blue, who is very busy, dropped everything, flew here, literally, says, hey, champion, could you deal with her for a second? I have a lot to do, but the first thing I need to do is go talk to Aethys. Even just showing up, he can immediately tell something's wrong. Of course he can. Look at Aethys for a second, by the way. Look at that pose. Oh yeah, by the way, he also brought mana potions because Aethys is an elf who has not yet been cured. Assuming that couldn't happen. Oh yeah, by the way. So the Dragon Isles is up here. Now, this is not actually to scale. We've talked about this before. But still, the Dragon Isles is north. It's in the northern climates. Khazalgar is off the coast of Kalimdor. Gotta get the mailbox first, obviously. Very important, very important. Yeah, it's actually further than it looks on that map because of the scaling problem. Let's just drop a few items here. And the tent. Wait, it's missing something. Let's get a flying carpet. There we go. There we go. Much better. Oh, let's grab that flight path over here. There we go.
In the darkest of times.
Well done.
Truest of friends.
That bag is quite useful, isn't it? I'm glad I thought to bring with me. Now, on to the task at hand.
Do not worry. This is not the end of the Kirin tour.
I'm afraid our cleanup of Dalaran extends far from the shores of the Isle of Dorn. In my attempts to find you, I circled this island many times. During my flight, I sensed the magic of many familiar items that were formerly housed in Dalaran. Dangerous items. Someone or something has taken them who knows where. We must find these objects before innocent bystanders come to harm. Come with me.
Call on me again, and I will... I'll meet you at morning rise, champion. I need to.
Kalecgos, go. I will be fine.
Maybe, but I am not leaving that to chance. Let's go, champion.
Just like a dragon. Stubborn and a show-off.
So as a reminder, most mages have something that is their speciality. Kalecgos is his mirror images.
Only the best prices for my friends. I will do whatever I can for the Kirin tour.
So yeah, we've got a few of them just kind of helping maintain the area. But also a stay a while and listen.
The Sun Reavers will defend what remains. Still.
What you have told me makes me afraid for you, Aethys.
Fear isn't part of it. Or not fear of Nerubians or even Xalatath.
Then of what?
Of letting everyone we have lost down again. If I slip, if I sleep, what then? What horror comes here and takes more of us away?
I know very little about what has transpired here. But, Aethys, none of it was your fault. You're a survivor, a victim of this tragedy. To continue to fight and then rebuild, that's more than anyone would ask of you.
And yet, here I am. Still alone. The Kirin tour.
They will come. For now, you need rest. Let me put the burden on my wings for a while.
Kalecgos, thank you.
And now he's standing. Oh, God. And now he's standing. Oh, my God. This freaking game. Yes, sorry, several people several people in chat have already mentioned this, but it deserves repeating that this is such a wonderful showcasing of the Void. I know that sounds strange because there's no Xalatath, there's no Void monsters, there's no endless hunger or anything like that. But this is what the Void does on a very, very zoomed in level. This is doubt. This is that quiet, creeping uncertainty. It's my fault. I did this. I stumbled. I deserve to be alone. I deserve to shoulder this burden. I deserve this pain. I wasn't good enough. That is the void in one sequence right there. It's one of the reasons the Void is such an interesting and wonderful contrast to the other primary antagonistic force we face throughout the course of this game, which is the Fel. Fel is exactly what it sounds like. It's a gigantic burning furnace that is there to crucible you down until nothing of you remains. I'm not even speaking facetiously, like even like metaphorically. Fel burns away parts of you. It burns away parts of your personality, parts of your soul. It twists you and converts you into something that is a whole lot worse than what you were before. And of course, eventually, it literally burns you down. Fel feeds off of life, off of souls.
The kobolds are definitely hoarding magical items here. I can sense them. We must safeguard what is left of Dalaran.
We will begin our search here. I can feel faint arcane auras emanating from around and beneath the structure. The kobolds must have found and brought them to this place.
Do not worry. This is not the end of the Kirin Tor.
The kobolds here could get up to untold mischief with the items they've stolen. Take what you can back from them by whatever means you see fit. While you deal with the kobolds around Morning Riot's grave sites, I will go underground and search Kriegval's Rest and do the same. Meet me near Kriegval's Rest when you have secured the Kirin Tor artifacts.
Call on me again, and I will follow. I must admit, the sight of Dalaran reduced to rubble overwhelmed me. Though I put on a strong front for Aethys, I need a distraction. Something else to focus on.
And that's another nice human touch, if you'll forgive me for the terminology, when talking about a dragon and an elf who are speaking to an earthen construct. Of course Galacos is hurt by that, just as much as everyone else was. Oh! That quest. Okay. Found a necklace. Yeah, one of the most fascinating things about the Void is, for all its true terror, which it absolutely is a terrifying thing, to be clear, if you successfully survive the Void, then what you have is an adorable niece. What? What? What's up?
It was really sleepy. I went downstairs now.
What? I'm sorry? Well, I can't go downstairs. I'm in the middle of a quest. Although maybe I should chop it off, because we're not going to finish this anytime soon. And it is getting kind of late. Sure, come here. Careful. The Void doesn't sound so bad. Sure. Yeah. No. I mean, you say that jokingly, Asmiristar. That's actually literally true. One of the single most reliable things. Okay. One of the single most reliable ways to withstand the Void is to have a sanity anchor.
We must take extreme methods to stop
No.
the kobolds
No.
plundering
Not
Morning
you. You're fine.
Be a dragon!
I
Be a
can't.
dragon!
I can't. There's kobolds. Okay, let's get the bag of stuff. Can we get the bag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. The bad guy's dead.
Don't worry. We'll make sure all the bad guys go to sleep. Let's see.
The bad guy is asleep.
Of course. They're
Yeah.
very tired.
More people are Turn into a dragon.
I can't. I can't do it in combat. There's too many of them.
Special man.
Well, the good news is right now Aethys has, you know, Calicos.
Search for that bad guy.
And obviously Khadgar. And arguably us, while we're on the subject.
Look at up on the dragon.
We're in the dragon. We're in the dragon. She really likes dragons for some reason. Do you like the dragon?
Yeah. Stay in the air.
I can't stay in the air. I have to get the loot. We can't get the loot in the air. See all the boots? Look at all these boots. Why are there so many boots in here? Did you put all the boots in here?
No.
Okay, good.
That's because I'm not in the game.
I can't argue with that. Never. Okay, I'll fly in a second, okay?
Would I come back alive?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll fly for a little bit, okay? Whee! Whoosh! To the sky. Whoosh.
Go in space.
I can't go in space. I'm not a Draenei. Okay, we'll go down. Bwah, bwah, bwah.
No.
Down to the ground. Wait, what? Not to the ground?
Go in space.
Where's space? I don't see space.
Oh
no!
It's
Cobalt.
all the way it's all the way in the sky.
That's right. If we keep going up, we'll end up in space, won't we? That's right. And we have been to space, yo.
Hopefully that will finally deter them. But if I have learned anything, it's that kobolds always come back.
Wait. Can you say we've been to space, yo?
Yo.
Please? Say, we've been to space, yo.
We can bend to space, yo.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you. You're amazing.
Let's go to space.
Yep, now we gotta go to space. Because we've been to space, yo. Someone clip that.
Let's go to space.
Yeah, let's grab this last bag right here. Then we'll go to space, okay?
Yeah, let's go to
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Oh no, it's too high. I don't think we can reach it. Oh, it's too high up. It's too high up. I have an idea, though. We're gonna get you to space, baby.
So use that portal.
Okay, we're gonna use the portal to go to space. Hang on, it's gonna take 10 seconds to charge, okay? Can you count to 10?
I can only count to 10 like 10.
No, you have to count up to 10. You can't just count to 10. I can't do that. That's cheating.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's counting to 10.
Okay.
10. Are those all your friends?
Yes. Nah.
Yeah.
Ah, you're so strong. You're so strong. Ugh. You win.
Is that a bad guy?
That is a bad guy.
And that?
No, that's a good... Okay, that's a complicated, but for the purposes of this picture, that's a good guy. Hang on, wait for it. Wait for it. Give me that speed. Give me that mounted speed, yeah! Alright, anyways, so we want to go to space, right? Let's go to space.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Red. Alright.
Are you in space?
I am here, I'll show you. Can you see? We're out in space now. There's the planet down there. Do you see it? Well, we can't. There's just a bunch of space out here. See?
Let's go out.
Oh, okay. Well, hang on. Let's go out really quick.
Go out of that castle. Go out of the castle.
Okay, hang on. Really, Kraken Sun? I haven't noticed that.
Get out of
The entire Arathi Empire is that one tiny speck up there. No, is this out? Are we out enough?
Go all the way out.
Okay, hang on. Let's go all the way out into space. Let's go over here. Oh, you know what? No. Yeah, I know where we could go. Because this is just a cave, right? Look at this place. Ugh. This is barely in space at all. Look, you can see space up there. But we're not in space. I know where we should go.
But there's a planet.
There is a planet, which means we're in space. But...
flying boot.
Flying boot? What?
I just saw a flying boot.
Oh, okay. What?
Are those spacemans?
Yes.
Where's the bad guys?
So, hang on. We're gonna go to space. You ready?
Yeah.
There we are. Now we're in space.
Go off the ground.
Do you see?
Go off the ground.
Well, I can't. I can't fly out here. We're in space now. Can't fly in space.
But we can float in space.
You've got me there. Is it pretty?
Fly.
I can't fly. We're in space, remember? That's a good point.
Then float.
Float? Okay, hang on. I will float. See? Now we're floating in space.
Like,
Float.
we'll go to the other side.
Okay, here we go. You're right, though. Hang on. I only have one character who's unlocked, Koresh. So, slight spoilers, but for the sake of my niece, we're gonna do something. Consider this a teaser.
Space girl.
If you don't want to see spoilers, cut off here.
Space girl.
Yes,
Go
they are.
to space girl.
Yeah, I see her. She's right there. Fastest way there.
Auto. The weapons. Are auto weapons good guys?
Of course. Whoops, wrong one.
Yeah, that place. Rockfall place.
Shadowguard, continue
No.
their assault on Kazavesh.
Don't fall. Don't fall. I wouldn't fall.
We're not gonna fall. We're going out to space now. This is what you wanted. See? We're in space now. Do you see?
I'm floating in space.
Mm-hmm. We're actually flying in space. This is the only place we can fly in space. Do you see?
Yeah.
Studiously ignoring anything to the right of me over there. Do you see this floating city?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to see here. There's a city up there. Do you see it?
Go play in the sand.
Okay. Whoosh.
A monster.
Oh, we might not be able to defeat this monster. We're gonna have to use all our powers of doom. Which we don't have, because this is not Lemix. But it's okay, because I still know what I'm doing. I'm a demon hunter. Yeah, let me be clear. The big problem with Koresh is that it's not as polished. I'm staying in the air.
Flying.
Staying in the air, I'm staying there. Is that it's not as polished as the rest of War Within.
Can fly.
Do we go through the portal? Ah, too late. Another portal. Whoosh. Mm-hmm. You want to see something cool? I'm sure all of you have noticed this by now.
Play in the sand.
There's a reflective image in the sand. So as you're flying around, it looks like the sand is moving because you've got this pearlescent look. Do you see how the sand is moving? It's reflective. It's more obvious here.
The monsters are digging in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this whole zone is
That's
extremely
high.
pretty. Horrific.
Digging in the height.
Of course. Where else are they gonna dig? Uh-oh. Now that's just space. What do we do? What do we do?
It's not just space. Go back in the sand where monsters are not.
Never. I will never go back to the sand.
Infiltrated the crags in
Monster.
search of tasty crowlask meat.
Monsters.
Deal with the stalkers and put the crowlask.
Fly in the air.
We are in the air. We're in the air. Well, we're in space right now.
The Wastelanders.
Do you want to see an ecodome?
Yeah.
You want to see a completed ecodome? Which, by the way, is getting so many negatives. This, by the way, I haven't really spoken about this yet. This is the worst part about Koresh right here. Pardon.
There you are. Good. There are many tasks that have been waiting on your arrival.
Although I am waiting on turning in back quests from the street.
Yeah.
What?
Turn back into a dragon.
Never! That's not how you ask.
We see you turn back into a dragon.
Okay. I actually finished this because I'm a whore, but yeah, I am not glad for that. I have finished it, other than the one quest, which I saved for turning in because I am not doing that on camera. I'm not. I refuse. I will give it the negatives, and then we will move on.
Go back in sand.
Down to the sand.
Oh, watch out for the monsters.
Oh no, there's monsters everywhere. What do we do?
Um,
There's a monster. Oh god, that's a big monster. Do you see him? Rawr, monster.
destroy him.
Oh, okay. I can do that. Time to destroy the Void of Shame.
Let's turn into a monster.
He's turning us into monster brains. Brains. Brains.
Don't
Yeah.
destroy the
Okay.
baby one.
Don't worry. I left the baby ones. They're fine. See?
The baby ones might destroy.
What's really funny, of all of the features they listed, rebuilding the Ecodome was the one that sounded the most interesting to me when this was still in, like, preview stage. And, yeah. Want to see the city?
What's around at me?
Oosh.
What's around at me?
Look at it. Oh, there's some sand in here, too. Do you see the sand?
Go play in the sand.
I will never play in the sand.
Dragons play in sand.
Oh, they do? Oh, my bad. Okay, well, then we have to play in the sand, then.
Watch out for the monsters.
Well, how are we going to play in the sand if there's monsters down here?
Oh, I just see the big monster.
Oh, whoops, that didn't have collision. I was expecting that to have collision. Alright, baby. You've hijacked the stream enough, I think. It's time for squishes. Squish! Squish!
I'm gonna keep watching you.
Okay, but we can't keep flying out in space, okay? Okay?
Go see the monsters.
Nope. We're gonna go back to our quests. We need to go back down to the ground, to Earth. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. We're so tolerant. Alright.
Goes west down to the ground.
And yeah, I don't want to spell too much, but there's my login screen. Anyways, go back up to this.
Maybe there's that you have to go.
Well, don't worry. We'll find other statues.
Already said that you have to go.
Of course. Okay, so we used the portal. We're back here. Let's go talk to Calicos. He's a dragon.
Champion, Did you find anything?
That's Calicos.
In the darkest of times, we need the truest of friends. May there be fairer skies.
Don't worry, he can turn into a dragon just like we can. We must search and reclaim what we can. Even the smallest curio can be meaningful to someone, or dangerous.
You can count on me for
I'm shocked to see how much they managed to pilfer in such a short time.
Do not worry.
That kobold that had this was dead, did you say? That does not bode well.
Call on me again.
This necklace, it's clearly full of powerful magic, but it's elusive, as if it's hiding its origin from me. Let me take another look. Maybe there's something obvious I'm missing.
You can count. I can feel faint traces of spells I haven't seen used in years.
Well, let's see what this is then. I'm sure it's nothing big.
A curse! Hold on!
Did they die?
Nope, we got cursed, and we're getting sucked into a pocket dimension. Do you see?
Don't go back in space.
So as you'll notice, there are several dead kobold thieves in here. By the way, do you recognize the music? Because I do.
Oh,
I will do whatever I can for the Kirin
They
tour.
died,
They are dead, yes. Those poor kobolds. It was foolish of me to let my guard down. Do not be alarmed, but this appears to be a pocket dimension. If the kobolds that met their demise here are any indication, it may be difficult to return to the Isle of Dorn.
May there be fairer skies ahead.
She is too amazing. A pocket dimension. This is old magic. Malagos used pocket dimensions on occasions when he did not wish to be disturbed. They were mainly used by mages as research spaces, or for testing dangerous spells, or if a mage wanted to hide what they were doing. I wonder who made this one. I suppose it doesn't matter. We need to get out. Thankfully, every pocket dimension has an exit, though normally it is well hidden.
You can count on... Perhaps that scroll holds the key to leaving.
Yeah, there's a letter from the council. Following the council's recent investigation, all forbidden tomes and scrolls concerning dark magics in your possession have been seized and destroyed. Should we ever discover any further engagement with forbidden arcane practices, severe consequences will follow, including expulsion from the Council of Six and Dalaran. This is your last warning. Signed, Grand Magus Antonidas. There's a rat cage with a single-level rectangular enclosure with sturdy metal bars. It is equipped with a wheel, tunnels, and a cozy nesting area. Today, Antonidas introduced me to his pupil, Miss Proudmoore. While she shows a certain aptitude, I cannot help but feel disappointed by the lack of ambition and drive I see in her and many of her generation. They seem content with mediocrity, unwilling to push beyond the basic limits of their abilities. In my day, we were eager to delve into the deepest arcane mysteries and constantly sought to expand our knowledge and power. The future of our craft looks bleak if this complacency persists.
Look, the dimension, it's shifting.
After extensive experimentation on rats, that was actually in the lead-up story to Wrath, I believe, it is evident I have reached the limitations of what can be learned from them as test subjects. To progress my research further, it is imperative I transition to human subjects. However, this shift introduces significant ethical risks. I also risk discovery by my meddling peers. To mitigate these risks, I should consider sourcing subjects from the sewers, where disappearances are less likely to attract attention. This approach may seem controversial, but it's the only way to obtain the knowledge I so crave. He got angry when the experiment failed. Can you help us? Of course. Be free. He found me in the sewers, promised food and a safe place to sleep. It's so cold here.
Another shift. Keep doing what you're doing. Perhaps we'll shift out of here.
Bag of grain. Delivered to Dalaran as requested. Fresh grain from Brill. Payment on receipt. Okay. Let's try adding Essence of Death. Alchemical Solution. And a skull.
Champion, look out! Ghouls. Like the ones in Northrend. But they're unstable. Are they a prototype?
So, obviously anybody even remotely familiar with Warcraft lore is looking at this like, well, of course that's who this is. But the thing I find funniest about all this is well positioned in the lore because, well, not everyone's familiar with the lore. And frankly, the individual in question here didn't have a lot of presence in WoW in particular. In fact, I gave him negatives for it. Twice.
Enough! Did the Council send you to seize my tomes again?
Careful. Even though that's a mirror image, it can still be dangerous.
By the way, Mr. Bigglesworth is still there. Yeah, this is literally the best showcasing of Kel'Thuzad in all of World of Warcraft. Which is actually pathetic, but appropriate that he's good when we've gotten into modern WoW, aka good WoW.
Can you not see there is work to be done?
What is this place? Must I explain everything to you simpletons? Fine. This pocket dimension's a realm hidden from prying eyes. A place where driven visionary mages, like myself... By the way, he doesn't even have white hair. He is so young here. Can make real progress. It is a world of shadow, cloaked in magic, where time bends to your will and power flows freely if you know how to harness it. And best of all, there are no distractions, no fools meddling in your affairs. Just you, your ambition, and raw arcane energy waiting eagerly to be tamed and shaped. Yeah, I saw your experiments. As the sole master of this dimension, the usual quibbling, alliance, moral constraints, and the nonsense rules of the Kirin are, shall we say, optional. Progress demands sacrifice. Sometimes of the body, sometimes of the soul. Here I push the boundaries of magic, the ways narrow-minded mages like Antonidas could never dream. Flesh is just another material to mold. Death, a doorway to greater power. Here I reanimate, reshape, rewrite the very laws of existence. Souls, energy, life, all are tools. There's no room for sentiment when grappling with the power of life and death. The key to immortality is in my reach. By the way, it wouldn't surprise me either, Huthor. You are thinking of someone else, Czar. So, I don't know if it's mentioned here, but one of the things that was part of the backstory back in, I think, Warcraft 3, at the very least in one of the short stories leading into it, is that Kel'Thuzad, first of all, he was never exactly a good person. He was your typical amoral mage, right? But he was kind of by the Second War. Remember, he lived through the Second War. In fact, one of the specific things that brought to his mind the very concept of undeath magic was what the Warlocks and the Necrolites were doing during the invasion of the demonic horde. So, tell me about the Kirin. Kirin. They're nothing but a husk of their former selves. Once they pursued true magical power, but now they're bogged down by endless debates and pointless moral equivocating. Every spell is questioned, every action turned into political theater. Instead of mastering magic, they waste time worrying about ethics and appearances. They've forgotten that magic isn't a gift, it's a power. Power that could wield to dominate our foes and finally have a lasting peace. Instead, we negotiated pander. Pathetic. Meow.
Take a mistake? Is that not what the Kirin Tor is now? Bumbling mages making mistakes and meddling in what they understand not. They mistake cowardice for morality and wisdom for mediocrity. True power can only come from sacrifice, from setting aside taboos and fear, and venturing into the unknown. So do not speak to me of mistakes. The Kirin Tor is the mistake. I have chosen my path, one of learning and discovery. I will not be hindered by the short-sightedness of those who cling to the illusion of right and wrong. Now go, before I find use for you in one of my experiments.
Good talk.
Why are you speaking?
And yeah, that actually goes into the original motivations of Kel'Thuzad. Yeah, you notice Kalikos doesn't even respond to that. He just leaves, like,
we're back.
Ooh.
Kel'Thuzad helped us. And the necklace is just a necklace now.
So they're probably not going to do anything with that, but it's worth noting that thanks to how mirror images work, that's a sliver of Kel'Thuzad. Like, I don't want to spoil, any example I could give would be a spoiler, but let's just say that I am doing something, and while I'm doing something, I make a copy of my brain to put into a program in a computer, right? That's not me. I go on, I do things, I die. That program still exists. Make sense? And that's kind of what we just saw with that mirror image. We actually saw that earlier, by the way. Brilliant storytelling, and I mean that, with Kalikos. And I mentioned that's brilliant because it's a great way to introduce to the player the nature of that kind of magical forking. The player might not know what a mirror image is, but we have seen it. We have seen that the mirror image of Kalikos can operate as functionally a separate entity. So that's like Kel'Thuzad 2, for lack of a better way to put that. They could do something with that if they wanted to. We'll see.
We must safeguard what is left of Dalaran.
What we experienced in Kel'Thuzad's pocket dimension is a timely reminder of what can happen when magic is used without regard to ethics or regulation. To me, this underlines the importance of the Kirin Tor. But on the other hand, Kel'Thuzad was Kirin Tor. It's a reminder how power corrupts. Let's make sure these artifacts will not cause anyone else to go on an unexpected trip. Let's return to Aethys. Perhaps now more have responded to his letter.
Do not worry. Our brush with Kel'Thuzad underscores my greatest fears about the Kirin Tor. We need to regroup.
I love Kalikos' new actor, by the way. I know it's not new, but he's just amazing. Oh, hey. There's the dragon. Yeah, Mr. Floyd. Although, if we're being completely honest, that's not fair to say. So I'm going to go ahead and say no. The first time we will ever see truly untouched storytelling, as in the first time we will see completely new storytelling, is the content that isn't out yet. Midnight. Anyways. Yeah, no kidding, White Noise. But yes, it's a hook, but the best part about it, a lot of people have this thing where they'll be like, hey, here's this quest about kittens. Look at this kitten. Look at this kitten. Hey, there's a dog over here. And there's like a quest hook for a dog quest. And then they go back to kittens, right? What I mean by that is, yeah, exactly, Mr. Floyd. You got to think about development cycles. Metzen obviously has his hand on the wheel here, at least a little bit, because first of all, he does, and second of all, you can really feel his particular brand of storytelling in some of these quests. But the first time we'll have a completely clean slate with the new team will be Midnight. Anyways, Fiction likes to do this, where it just says, here's a quest hook for something future. Maybe it follows through on it, maybe it doesn't, but it has nothing to do with anything. The thing is, Kel'Thuzad and his little excursion, his origins, is not only history, lore relevance, but it's also thematically appropriate to what we're doing here, rebuilding the Kirin Tor. The Kirin Tor were good and bad. Kel'Thuzad was absolutely a product of the Kirin Tor. And that's something that needs to be remembered.
Kalecgos, it is good to see you. Dalaran, another home lost to war.
I did, Venters. Thank you for being part of the show. I put that Sword into R, Shining Force, and Wind Commander.
Mistakes have been made.
It looks...
We can learn from them.
It looks like more mages have arrived. This gives me hope. I'm sure Aethys will be relieved.
May there be fairer skies ahead.
Calicoth's hypothesis that Dalaran's debris interferes with long-range teleportation seems correct. Of course, Miss Teleport Mage would know that. Mage portals have appeared along the shore, but no one stepped through them. They're likely mages trapped in the portals. Or something mana-hungry, like fell hunters, may be lured here by the release of the power. We must investigate. Mages of the Kirin Tor may be in danger, and the fell hunters are an acceptable risk. Let's not waste any more time.
Xalatath will face them.
Have you spoken to Aethys at the outpost?
Not yet. I thought I was ready to see Dalaran's ruins again, but I arrived and just froze.
That's understandable. Come, we'll go together.
We'll come back to that in a second. Let's try to help out these people, shall we? Ah, Fell Hunter. Yeah, not the first time Jaina has seen Dalaran destroyed. Sleep, Eva. Get some good rest. And I am sorry. Oh, hang on. Let me rip you out there. Oh, it's still another Fell Hunter. Damn it. So many Fell Hunters. Evo, why'd you put all these Fell Hunters in here? I got you. Oh, nope, another Fell Hunters. There's so many. Come on, surely there's at least one mage in here. I can't wait to see it, Evo.
Thanks. I saw the letter. I'm here to help.
Remember her? No, of course you don't. Don't lie to me. But I do. Oh my god. No, there was a quest chain in Dragonflight. And it was part of the Blue Dragonflight chain. And it was at Theramore, specifically. And there were a lot of mages there who were like, we're gonna totally do this thing and blow up Theramore again and kill some horde because rawr! And at the end of the day, they were all just hurt, right? And they just needed to chill and have someone to talk to and pull down a little bit. She was the one in charge of that group. And she made a specific point of saying, you know, I don't know if I can continue. I don't know what I can do next. It is nice to see that she is coming back here. Yeah, she was brain broken by
I never
Theramore.
had a portal trap me that way. You saved my life, my friend.
You're welcome. Yeah, this is modern WoW. Continuity is our watchword now. Sorry, Huthor.
Thank you. I do not know what would have happened when I ran out of mana.
I do. You would not enjoy that experience.
Grief heals slowly, Aethys. Be patient, and more will answer your missives in time.
Thank you, Sean. As always. I will jot that down. Boards, Little Kitty, Chrono Gear, and Spider-Man. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's actually funny in its own horrible way. I'm not sure you could pick a better duo to support Aethys right now than Jaina and Calicos. Like, you probably could if you really thought about it, but holy shkimoly. I think Bellular is a grifter who needs to be ignored, Mr. Floyd Pickerton. And that is my answer. Yeah, that is wrong and dumb. In fact, it is actually disingenuous if you're familiar with Kingdoms of Amalur, which, it's worth noting, I am. He's a grifter. Don't listen to him. That's my actual answer there.
We survived. The Nerubians will not.
I'm glad to see the scattered mages of the Kirin Tor answering Aethys' call.
We will brave.
A few mages have come, but I expected more to act on Aethys' action. Perhaps that was wishful thinking. We need more help, despite what you and Calicos did at Morning Rise. Aside from Kel'Thuzad's pendant, the Kobold's plunder was middling powered artifacts. Meanwhile, there have been reports of powerful artifacts sifting through Aj-Kehet, meaning the Nerubians must have scavenged Dalaran's crash first. We must find these artifacts before they're used against us.
Champion, come with me. We will deal with the Nerubians ourselves.
Also true, Zara. Bellular used to be one of the good ones. I don't blame anyone for listening to him.
As quickly as she arrived, she is gone.
Don't be so hard on her, Aethys. She's not taking this as well as it would appear.
I know. I just was hoping to get her help with arrangements. Since she had been here when Dalaran fell.
Ah, I see. Well, maybe I can help. Have you ever heard of a Tuskarr chieftain named Panoliak?
Continuity. Just saying. Yeah, by the way, subtle detail there. Miss Proudmoore had no real issues with teleporting around here, despite all of the things that they've established are causing issues with teleporting. In fact, I would say there's probably only 3 mages who can teleport around here freely. Jaina, Khadgar, and Oculus. I don't think anybody else could actually manage that. So, you might wonder why an organization like the Kirin Tor is necessary. Well, magic is wild and dangerous, and you kind of need some kind of regulation on that. Otherwise, stuff like that happens.
A mana bomb. This is a worst-case scenario, and we only have ourselves to blame. I will not lose my friends again.
Yeah, by the way, sorry, for those of you not familiar with it, that's a nuke. No, seriously, that is an arcane nuclear device. If that thing goes, that is an active nuke. Look where we are, by the way. We're right here. This is a city.
We survived. The Nerubians will not. Xalatath will face the might of the Alliance.
This is exactly what I'd feared. Thelen's Songweaver's notes on the monobomb he devised to devastate Theramore were under guard in Dalaran. Few knew of this. I argued they should be destroyed, but others argued if such a bomb was again created, we need them to disarm it. And now those notes are both problem and solution. Thankfully, I have read those notes. I will walk you through disarming the monobomb.
We will brave this dark. Disentangle the bomb's power sources while I suppress it. We cannot allow the mana bomb to detonate.
Yep. And yep. Oof. Yes, Thalen Songweaver was the guy who was part of the Pandaria scenario of the devastation of Theramore. Let's go ahead and just grab this. Yeah, I love how it just kind of casually, very suddenly ups the stakes here. This has been a very focused, private quest of characterization, and then we find an active nuke. It's still on brand, though. Remember, all of this is about the Kirin Tor, good and bad. That is the central theme, plot-wise, of this entire quest arc. Kirin Tor were good, Kirin Tor were bad. That's life.
Filthy ogre crawler!
Sorry about this.
Now, champion, realign the mana bomb's matrix.
Sure! Yeah, I can do that. Hang on. Which wires? They're all blue wires! Ah! Quick, champion, disarm the nuke. Ramirez! Whoops. Yeah, like, this is so bad on so many levels. It's actually kind of funny to think about. Like, the resulting catastrophe this would cause is so huge. Remember we were talking about how Dalaran's devastation wasn't actually all that bad, specifically because so much of the energy was absorbed? This would be worse than all that.
We have averted a great catastrophe, champion.
Yeah. Yeah, this... So let's be clear. The City of Threads, gone. I would say Mereldar, probably also gone. There's an extremely high chance that because we're underground, this would also cause issues here. And considering how cavernous this is, it would probably come down into it. So that's probably, at the very least, the functional end of Dornegal, and probably a huge amount of devastation for the Ringing Deeps. Then we consider the fact that we're in an island which is off the coast of Kalimdor and Pandaria. Yeah, this would have been bad.
Dalaran.
My faith in you is never misplaced.
Azeroth must be protected.
The larger threat has been contained, but I believe there are still other artifacts important to our legacy, good and bad, in Ashkahet. While they're still dangerous, their knowledge may benefit us in the long run. We must not allow the Nerubians to profit from what they and Xal'atath did to Dalaran. Leave no dark corners here in the breathing pit unexplored.
We will brave this darkness together.
Some of the relics the Nerubians now possess were housed in carefully designed containment vaults in Dalaran. That's how dangerous and powerful they are. With those vaults gone, the only course of action we can take is to destroy them. In hindsight, it seems a grave mistake to have gathered so many powerful artifacts in one place, even if the place was Dalaran. I would trust no one else with this task. Find and destroy those artifacts.
Azeroth must be protected. This bomb should not have been built. Kirin Tor leadership is to blame, but we are all complicit and must atone for it. I will dispose of the bomb. Destroy the other artifacts and meet me in the Tranquil Strand.
I don't think Xal'atath gave a damn about the bomb. Why would she? It has nothing to do with what she's after. Wand of Permafrost. By the way, just kind of reading this as we go here. Staff of 1,000 Meteors. I think I had that in Diablo. What else we got here? We got Medivh's Karazhan schematics. That's horrifying, Dream Whisperer. Antonidas' Introduction to Arcane Magic. Yeah, Xal'atath has her own things. She's an interesting combination of extremely patient, but wasting absolutely no time. The moment she's done with a place or a thing or a person, she leaves instantly. That's been consistent, by the way. That goes all the way back to Legion, really. Oh, by the way, someone asked when Xal'atath was introduced to the lore. Legion is the answer to that question. I swear she was referenced in Kata, but I don't remember what I found about that. Yeah, we'll talk more about Xal'atath later. I don't want to get too much down that rabbit hole right now. Trust me, I have a lot to say about her. I look forward to seeing her in Midnight. That's right, Huthor. That's why I thought there was a connection there. Yeah, nobody's calling for me. They're just hanging out. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Whoops, hang on. No, yeah, I'm right. It's alright. Yeah, Grim Batol. That's what I was thinking of. Which one, random? Oh god, no I haven't, Maverick. Do I want to know? Wario World? Sweet, that's a good one. It involves a giant foot. Yes, Xal'atath is the thing in the knife.
More mages have arrived in our absence, champion. That is heartening to see.
Yeah, the elf... 1 second, please. The elf, we actually kill during BFA. The original elf. And then Xal'atath, in the knife, possesses the elf's corpse. It is quite literally a flesh puppet. We don't know what Xal'atath is, still. And for once, I think that's a good thing. Because, yeah. Yeah. We may never find out. It's possible. They could take Midnight in several directions. The storyteller and the analyst in me cannot help but notice that we've been building to Midnight since Dragonflight, arguably since Legion, but let's ignore that. Dragonflight and War Within both built to Midnight. How does Midnight lead into the Last Titan? Now, I have some thoughts on that. But think about that for a second. Midnight directly leads into the Last Titan. Huh. So, this is a wonderful little moment here.
The dark times will pass.
This battle mage seems to be somewhere far away. He does not register your approach.
We will have justice.
Seeing Jaina, Aethys, Calicos, and Khadgar here is comforting.
See you around. I am listening.
I should not be here. And I am afraid to face my commander now that she's returned because of why. In her absence, I was tiring of command, so I feigned illness for the day. Make no mistake, when Dalaran was attacked, I immediately joined the battle, but because I was not there when the Nerubians first attacked, I survived. I do not know how to deal with this shame.
Be careful.
Glory to the Sin'dorei.
The sacrifices the Sunraisers have made, I am proud to call myself one of them.
Farewell.
Hello.
I am heartened that everyone is putting aside their differences, at least for now.
Be careful.
We will persevere.
Now I know my sister. I'd hoped she was just lost, but she did not heed Aethys' call.
We will have justice.
I am honored.
We must treat this occasion with the solemnity that it deserves. Do you not agree? I understand the need to mourn, but do we really have time for this? Should we not thinking ahead? And about plans, reprisals? Dalaran's ruins are at our feet. Should we not be marching ahead to root out the evil that cast it down? I am relieved to see that some of my brethren survived the crash and the battle for Kazalgar. But there are so many we have lost. This Kirin Tor survivor looks at you and crosses their arm tightly, quickly looking away. Yes, yes, I'm in mourning as well. Seeing your puzzled look, the survivor sighs and lets their guard down. I'm not one for people, okay? I have less friends than I have fingers on one hand, and none of them were on Dollar and would have crashed. I miss my favorite quiet spot more than anything else. Don't tell anyone, please. I still want to be here for whoever. I don't know. By the way, let me tell you a little bit of a writing tip, okay? If you ever want to write variety, bring in multiple writers. No, seriously, even if it's just for one brief thing, even if it's just for one scene, the way you write this variety of reactions to the situation is you bring in multiple writers. For example, if I reached out and I was like, Kira White Noise, Huthor, Maverick, Mr. Red, I need you to all give me someone's reaction to the destruction of Dalaran. I just need as many ideas as you've got. We can flesh out the dialogue later, but I need the core perspectives. I need that difference of mentality. And then you set them all up, and you write them all up, and you polish up the dialogue, and you get it, right? I do not recognize anyone here. Save Khadgar, Jaina, and Kalikos, I cannot say I even know Aethys well. I will never know what befell many of my peers, whether they died in the crash or in the fighting thereafter. I am unsure how to mourn them. How do I mourn what I cannot quantify? My clothes still stink of the foul Nerubian's ichor. I've already mourned my comrades' passing by taking down a foe for each one of them, and then some. I do not see some quaint ceremony, but I will stand by Aethys, no matter my feelings. If I had not taken leave to help my sister and her newborn, they would be mourning me here as well. The rest of my regiment...
You didn't take leave to help me with any of the 3 babies when they were newborn.
But I did. That is not true.
You did not take leave to help me with the babies.
Yes, I did. I was there when your youngest was less than 1 day old. I went out of my way, canceled
You came to see us. That is not helping with newborn care. It's different.
Ignore her. She is wrong about that one.
I am not wrong.
I was specifically there to help. You asked me to come help because your mother couldn't show up, remember?
No.
I do remember that.
I was at the hospital.
The youngest, specifically the youngest. It was the only time, because the middle one, I didn't show up for a week after because there were health concerns, because remember? COVID?
Because COVID, yes.
And the eldest, I didn't see until she was 9 months old. But the youngest, I was there when she was less than a day, because you were out of sorts.
Wait, did you come stay with the kids?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You didn't come to me, you came to the house.
That's
okay, that's
fair.
why I don't remember.
That's fair.
I was pushing a baby out.
But I was there for my youngest.
For your youngest?
Yeah, my youngest niece.
For my youngest.
For her whatever, for the youngest.
Just because you aren't feeling well and don't care to join us for dinner and you were running late because you slept longer and WoW was stupid. How long did it take for service to come back up?
Way too freaking long. It was like noon when it finally came up.
Yeah, doesn't mean you don't get to eat. So, pause for a second after you finish this and take a bite of pizza.
Literally the last quest. I was going to cut off after this.
Okay, well, you have pizza.
Thank you for the pizza.
You're welcome.
Everyone, I have pizza. It's quite cold. I am going to reheat it.
It's because it's been an hour.
Okay.
You so...
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sad. The door is shut. I can't get to where
She does that every time that door is closed. Every single. Sometimes she'll leave.
She comes in.
Right
She does
up
this.
to
She
it.
goes.
Yeah, she does that. I have heard that, and I thought it was like the kiddo when I first heard it. Yeah, it's the dog.
No.
It's the freaking dog.
Yeah.
Anyways. Ugh.
Yeah. I'm hungry, but I don't want pizza.
You want something else?
I don't know what I want. Do you not want pizza?
I kind of don't, admittedly.
Okay. Give me the phone.
So here, figure something out.
No, roll the chair.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on.
Process.
Hold on. Let me Let me readjust a few things here. Okay.
No, it's fine. I can. You don't have to pull the chair all the way.
Oh, there's that where that remote went. Right under your right foot.
There you go.
Thank you.
That's right under your left foot.
There is, oh god, what's his name? The dwarven dude, who's totally not.
Just so you're aware, hands are supposed to grip things.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay. Yeah, Great Father Winter, that's him.
I reached down to grab that, and just the process of doing this, the phone was like, no.
Yeah, no, we're good.
I'm leaving. Bye.
Okay, so, serious quest. No jokes for a sec, okay? Okay.
Joke!
If I had not taken leave to help care for my sister and her newborn, they would be mourning me here as well. The rest of my regiment, save my second, standing in the back, did not survive the crash. I am glad still others of the Silver Covenant have survived, but I must do what I can to honor those who lost their lives under my command, and others who lost their lives on Dalaran, no matter their affiliation.
Why do you have it? It's new.
I don't know. Is this really all that's left? No, it can't be. There's still mages in the field, like the Dragon Isles, though I feel I heard their efforts were winding down. What about the council? Khadgar's here, and Jaina and Aethys, of course. I wonder what my rank is now.
Oh no, he's come back by this point, hasn't he?
Yes, he's right over there. This is post-launch. Remember, we're in the patch still.
Yeah, no, I was aware. I paused for a second, because I was like, because he was gone for a while. We thought he was dead.
Yeah, we thought he was
cried.
Gone. I did too. That was a good scene.
I cried, and you hadn't done any of that content yet.
Mm-hmm.
And you asked me how it was, and I was like, all I'm going to say is I cried.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I really wanted to talk about it, and I was not spoiling it for you.
She was a good sister. There's her knee. Couldn't find her knee.
It's like, let me tap your phone. She was a good sister.
It was the thing that was in the way. Anyways. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be thinking about that, should I? It's so sudden. I'm out of sorts. The Kirin Tormage has obviously been crying for some time. And all she has to say is, I'm trying not to cry. The spellcaster is clutching a small woven silver bracelet with a set of fiery red stones. It looks to be of dwarven design. Her head is bowed, her eyes shut. Ooh. I'm not in the mood to chat. Yeah, of course not. I'm glad to see you here, Aethys. Aethys, buddy, I have got your freaking back. We all do. And that's the point, isn't it? I do hope this memorial helps Aethys and everyone else here. And then there's Khadgar right up front. So, a small little detail. Not all of these boats have something in them.
Because we don't have...
Like
we know people are dead.
Yeah, and we're not sure how many, and we don't have any of their effects. Like, obviously, that was someone's plushie, that was someone's flowers, that was someone's,
whatever.
Chalice or whatever. But we don't have everything. Not everything's... It was a void. It was a black hole. It absorbed. It's gone. So...
We only barely got Khadgar.
Yeah, so yeah, this is important. This right here. This is what doodads means. This is visual storytelling. Oops, wrong button.
I will not lose my friends again.
Do not. Oh, you. What's hat?
What'd I do? What did you?
The app.
What did it do?
I was trying to scroll up, and I apparently pushed my thumb down a little bit too hard, so it opened a thing. So when I went back out of it, it put me all the way at the top.
I've had that happen too. It's very frustrating.
This is bad app design.
So, an intricately drawn... What? An intricately drawn architectural plan revealing the secret passages and magical defenses of the enigmatic Tower of Karazhan. That might be useful at some point in time. A primer on magic penned by the esteemed Archmage Antonidas, offering on novices a comprehensive guide to the mage principles, spells, and the history of arcane magic. This tome is an essential one for aspiring mages. a comprehensive compilation of Thalen's research and experiments on creating the arcane bomb, detailing everything from gathering of rare magical ingredients, precise incantations, and associated risks.
Xalatath will face the might of the Alliance.
So, what have you found? Thalen Songweaver's notes. The rest we will keep safe, but these notes, I will see to their destruction myself.
We will brave this darkness together.
All right, Kagger.
As always, we have much to discuss.
God, he sounds old.
He is old.
He is old. He's in his 70s in lore. This man is in his 70s.
He was older than that.
No.
It's only been that long.
Yeah. It's like a range because we don't know how old he was in Warcraft 1, but he was probably about 20-ish in Warcraft 1. It's been 4 years. So he's somewhere around that range. 45 years old. Not all the Kirin Tor's issues can be solved in one day, but one way we can act is to honor those who have fallen. After speaking with everyone here, we have cobbled together a ceremony to send off those we have lost, and Dalaran. We would be honored if you would join us and participate in remembering our fallen comrades in the Kirin Tor.
Be careful out there.
Everyone brought a memento of someone we lost to commit to the ocean.
Sorry, jotting down some notes.
We must acknowledge our past errors and correct our course.
That's the monobomb.
No matter how painful, we must embrace change as we honor those we have lost.
That was Kel'Thuzad.
As we send them off, we let go of the past to face the future and become stronger.
I forget who
Did
that
you talk
was.
to Jaina?
Yeah. Or I'm about to, rather. But yeah,
Another
cutscene.
home lost to...
I really like the arcane tank take on that kind of what do they call that? The burning funeral, right? Burning the boats, burning the memorabilia.
Don't worry about me. All wounds heal.
So, what now?
We rebuild, but not just brick and mortar. We need changes to our foundation, to us.
Agreed. We must move forward with intention and learn from the mistakes we were too prideful to before.
I admit I was blinded by the ivory towers of Dalaran. I believe the Kirin Tor's wisdom was nigh infallible.
Let us pledge, then, that the new Kirin Tor will be different. No more consuls, No more floating cities, and no more meddling in world affairs.
Then we are all in agreement. We will start anew. For the Kirin Tor. For all of us.
Good. Because this old man is tired. I will go to Donegal to rest, and then start rebuilding the connections we have lost.
Are you going to stay, Caligos?
The Dragon Isles can endure a little longer without me. We have much work to do.
More mages are arriving to lend their strength. We need to start planning how we want to spend our resources.
I don't remember, Morganite. Sometime this year. So... I'm not sure what I think about that. Because you're right, Uthor, and I knew that was coming, obviously. The idea that they're going to not have a central city.
Have we tried this place yet?
No. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, for lack of a better way to put it. It is... don't mistake me. Decentralizing is a good idea in general. And the older I get and the more I study human psychology and just general geopolitics, the more I agree with that sentiment. But, yeah, enclaves, right, is the kind of thing they can still do. Still organized, still kind of double-checking each other, but a lot less centralized, a lot more democratized. We'll see. We'll see what they do with it. They could do a lot with this. Or nothing. It's true. That's actually very valid. And you're probably right in the fact that they actively want to do something different, if for no other reason than the fact that the things they have tried did not work. Now, whether that's because they were a bad idea or because they just were, stumbled into things that were kind of outside of their control, that's debatable.
Or the Kirin Tor?
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of both.
I mean, yeah. Like
I think in their pursuit of knowledge and passion, they stumbled into things that were outside of their control. And rather than, act like any normal, sane person and say, okay, maybe we should, I don't know, put this on hold, they said, wow, that's interesting. Let's try more.
I mean, yeah, because, like, for example, Archimonde destroying Dalaran, right? They couldn't possibly have predicted that. But it is worth noting that Dalaran was complicit in that. After all, Kel'Thuzad was a product of the Kirin Tor. And Kel'Thuzad directly led to the summoning of Archimonde, which led to the devastation of Dalaran. Like, the chain there is not that...
I don't want to think anymore. We're doing Wendy's.
Okay. That's fine.
That's where I'm at.
What is that? Is that... It's ink?
Yeah.
Why ink?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, and yeah, Huthor's right. See, the biggest downside of centralization is it's a central pillar, right? If anything knocks out that one pillar, you're screwed. Now, it's easier to defend one pillar. That's the benefit of centralization. But
when you have somebody that walks in and forms a giant black hole in the middle of your city, you kind of can't defend against it.
Yeah. And that is the third time. I know they keep talking about the second. It's actually the third time a giant, big, like, unassailable force just walked in and smashed Dalaran.
Weren't we one of those, basically?
Yeah, in Warcraft 2. We were the player character knocking over Dalaran.
So really, they've had 3 chances to be like, maybe we shouldn't do this. And at no point did they ever actually say, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah. Either way, fantastic quest chain. I love the War Within quest so freaking much. Hang on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's 9 positives for that quest chain, and I stand by that. I told my sister I was going to cut off, and I am a man of my word, and I did plan to, regardless. So we're going to go ahead and do More than that, Huthor. We're going to do... So tomorrow we're going to start off with the Arathi stuff. I know that's a little bit out of order, but I feel like it's a good time, and I feel like we should kind of lump together most of the Arathi stuff. So we're going to start off with the sassy Arathi chain. Then we're going to go ahead and do the stuff that's in the past.
What I just heard you say was the sassy Arathi chain.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Sassy.
Yeah.
As in, like, attitude? Okay.
So we're going to do the sassy Arathi. Then we're going to do the quests I haven't seen yet, which is the recap thing in the past during the short story. And then we're going to do the actual Arathi quest, which I have done, which was 11.1.5, I want to say. And that should serve the bulk of the first shift tomorrow. After that, we will probably go ahead and start actually pushing MSQ, I think. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to showcase before that. At some point, this is what we call one of those no-rush things, because it's not really lore relevant. But at some point, I'd kind of like to show off the new delves. Excuse me. We can wait until we hit to the Koresh stuff. I'm fine with that. But if anybody wants to participate is the reason I'm asking, because I know last time we got a kill squad going. And, you know, that was awesome. So if anyone wants to be part of that, cool. Otherwise,